freedom. Obsessions always jumping through. I'm so tangled, I'm so worthy. I'm just lost in my reflection. Pay attention, you never will. I will overanalyze and fall victim. Caught up in this perfection, pay attention, yeah, you never will. 'Cause you depend, so you always will. If you arrest yourself again, I'll help you clean up the mess. I wonder if you ever did, yeah. I wonder if you ever did like I did. I wonder if you ever did, yeah. I wonder if you ever did like I did. Just wanna be free, yeah. Free, yeah. Free, yeah. Hey, I just wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they say. never want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I would never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant. This is it, I'm tired of explaining. It's too late because everyone is waiting. That's great, so why are you complaining? You're on blue. If I'm unsure, will anybody notice? It's my fault because I love you on purpose. I'm insecure, or just a little nervous.
You're on blue. You.
knows
You're on blue. When every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue. When every bruise looks good on you.
You found out that nobody is perfect.
What's up, people?
And you doubt that anything is worth it. Look around, the
World is a circus, you're on blue. So provoking, I forgot to mention. Are you joking? Need some attention.
And nothing's working, so change your direction.
You're on blue. Who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue. When every bruise looks good on you.
Why won't you hold my hand? Are you gonna deny this? Do the best you can.
Let's go!
I haven't got a plan, but I'm gonna
Survive this,
That's just
who I am. Ah! right.
When you're on blue, you keep everything inside of you. You try to play it cool. Sometimes you gotta break the rules.
I don't know
why you are confused. All you need is
a little bit of attitude.
Yeah.
This is it.
I'm tired of explaining.
It's too late because everyone is waiting.
That's great. So why are you complaining?
You're on blue.
If I'm unsure,
Will anybody notice?
it's my fault
Because I love you on purpose.
I'm insecure.
But just a little nervous. You're on blue.
Yeah. Hey.
You are radicalized? All right.
Enjoy the view. I'm all about the attitude. Knows you're on blue. When
Every bruise looks good on you.
Tell me who knows you're on blue. When every bruise looks good on you.
All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Dude, first off, Jana, I saw your message. Are you okay? Like, dude, you left a pretty crazy message in there about like some dude like hitting you or something. Like, do you need medical attention? Do you need to call the cops? Do we need to put a fucking shitter in the clink? Like, I don't want to take what you were saying lightly there. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that is crazy. First, we got started off with who kicked us off today. Right? Was S. Larson. Let's go. Thank you. S. Larson kicking it off during the intro. Dude, we got Michael. Let's go, Michael. Fine. This is just a taster. I find your insults to be feeble. Do better, god damn it. I don't know what that means. Dude, what? Have I insulted you? I mean, I can. At $20 a pop, bro, we can make those insults flow, baby. Oh, we'll make them flow. Let's go, dude. I don't know, dude. Let's go. Thank you, boss. Or should I say, am I supposed to say thank you, boss? Or am I supposed to say fuck you, boss? I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that. Dude, let's go, Felicia. Let's go. Thank you for the boxing, the fist bump stickers. Dude, Ella, LFG boss, hope you're doing well. I am doing well, Ella. I am. My God, dude, 50 bones. Thank you, Ella. Let's go. Oh, shit. Dude, you guys are going fucking crazy, dude. Off the hilt. Dude, let's go. Dude, say, dude, I can throw the insults out. So today, though, I mean, let's just start it off with like today has been a fucking like a crazy internet. You know what I'm saying? Today has been a crazy like internet weirdness day. Dude, I'm serious. Today's been very weird on the internet in a number of reasons. Let me just like go to the Twitter for a second. Look, because first off, the Black Panther tweet just blew the fuck up. I've never had a tweet like get that much exposure. And what's more though, is it was a Libs of TikTok had posted this thing. And we like outshone Libs of TikTok. And in fact, the interview came from this site called Neophyte News, which you should probably go check them out. They're the ones who did the interview. Libs of TikTok didn't credit them until like way after the fact because Libs of TikTok always does that. But so that thing blew up. So obviously the Black Panthers are really tapping into the vibes that we are all feeling right now. I think to say the least, sorry, I just woke up not too long ago. To say the least, people are tapped into these Black Panther vibes and the idea of rebellion. Okay, dude, Mivs, I find your insults hilarious and hereby cancel that guy out. Let's go, Mivs. Oh, dude, Mivs with the big cancel, dude. Dude, yeah, you know what's so funny though is I don't know if that guy was talking to the chat or right. That other guy, if he was talking to the chat or what, right? I don't know. I don't know who he's talking to because I don't think I insulted him today, right? You know what I'm saying? Unless, right? Feeble, I don't know. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that Michael is. I mean, dude, is that Mike from PA? No, it's not, right? Because, like, I did, like, get into a little snip with Mike from PA on the internet. I did. I don't think he even saw my tweet necessarily, but it was like, I'm going to show it to you in a sec, okay? Because I'm, you know, I don't want to catastrophize, but we are in an election year and things are getting serious. Obviously, people are dying. Michael Reich is new, but he's okay. All right, great. Well, welcome aboard, Michael. I appreciate it. I thought maybe for a second it was Mike from PA's like second account because I'll show you about the Mike from PA thing in a minute. But so the other thing that happened today, guys, in addition to Black Panther energy is like zooming, connecting, like ICE is obviously off the fucking chart, okay? I mean, they killed another person, and now they're lying about that too, saying the guy was trying to kill himself. Dude, PA Mikey, not likely. Yeah, no, I know. But then this thing, you ready? So look at this. I got to show you what happened with this because this tweet, I saw this thing that said you can tweet fuck ICE and instantly get 1,000 likes, right? So I said fucking ICE, okay? But then what ended up happening, guys, this is so funny because what ended up happening is a bunch of MAGA people got in here. And then this guy, who's some dude from like France, I don't know who this is, but so this guy saw it. And then this guy like was like, dude, we gotta like ratio him. So he's like he's been like tweeting about me saying, hey, everybody get in there and ratio this guy, right? Let's get 1,000 likes of like ratioing him. So then there was this battle that dude, he was like way ahead. It was like 900. He had like 900 and I was at like 200. And now it's basically like 50-50. Hold on, where are we? Oh, there we are. Now it's like, you know, whatever. It's like 1.1 and 1.2, okay? It's like 50-50. We're like right there. But so what I thought was funny about this, guys, were the people in the replies, okay? Because this guy, in his effort to ratio me, a whole bunch of people are in the replies here. And some of them, guys, are like gamer kids. They're like Fortnite people. Like, look at these replies, okay? This guy, where is it? Right? Only a complete loser could tweet that and not get 1,000 likes. Well, sorry, Kenny, we did get it. There's I love Ace, but look at this. Look at this guy. Like it didn't turn out the way you expected. Dude, even though we made this, they were all prematurely like attacking it. How's that working out for you? You're going to get ratioed, right? Blah, blah, blah. But wait, there's some other people that went in here where, hold on, where is it? Right here. There's like some gamer kids got in here. Where is it? Where is this, dude? Hold on. Dude, hold on. I got to find these guys. Oh, maybe they're under him. I think maybe they're under his fucking tweet. Okay? Dude, there are a lot of triggered MAGA people. Oh, yeah. It's under here. Okay? Where is it? Oh yeah, look at this guy. This guy said, guy should have stuck to Fortnite and transitioning his kids. Dude, where did they come up with this shit? Right? Like, because I'm a leftist, that means I'm transitioning my kids, bro. Dude, that's so funny. Guy should have stuck to Fortnite and transitioning his kids. Dude, isn't that funny? Dude, and then they're like, he didn't follow the instructions. Double negatives. Dude, oh my God. Look at this one, though. This guy said, look at the pinned tweet for that guy. He is insane, right? Dude, then they start commenting, guys. They start commenting about this pinned tweet, right? And like, look at this. He says, look at the pinned tweet. He's insane. And then this guy says, I got a 7-day ban for suggesting something about Stephen Baldwin and ICE. This shit's seen as a timeline calling for murdering Trump voters. Dude, they're like beside themselves, guys. And you know what's funny too? See, what's funny about this is why I took like replies off on this, because these guys are so bent that they can't reply to this tweet. Bro, oh my God, it's so funny. Dude, isn't that funny? Oh shit, bro. Dude. Dude, what does this even mean? Pluck that magic twanger? Dude, it's so funny. Like, they are obsessed with transitioning. I'm serious. It's so weird how they are obsessed with transgender existence. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Dude. Yeah, you're the one person to actually get you through the nights. Let's go, Jenna. I mean, I hope you're okay. Dude, if we need to have the fucking Panthers roll up and decimate somebody, let's get it going. Rough them up. Dude, it is wild, bro. Dude, it's so funny, dude. But so what's crazy about it, guys, is what's funny about this is ultimately they thought they were going to, that it was like never going to get that 1,000 likes. And so they were obsessing about it. But I think, honestly, it probably wouldn't have gotten 1,000 likes if not for their obsession with it. I think their obsession with it is what kicked it over the edge, right? You love the schedule changes? Let's go. Dude, can't make this up. I'm glad you like the schedule changes because we're gonna do some more. So now, guys, I do want to say that I did have an interaction with a community member earlier that I hope she's not like super mad at me, but it was over this shit with Mike from PA. And again, I'm not super familiar with Mike from PA. I know that he's like a super far lefty guy like Hassan. And I have like gone in and watched his stream a little bit before in the past. But both of those guys, both Hassan and that Mike from PA, I don't know, like after the Gaza sort of genocidal moves by Netanyahu, they both became like super anti-democratic party. And I don't hate the Democratic Party. So it's really like, it's really hard for me because I appreciate them and I appreciate them like inspiring a young leftist audience and inspiring people to get involved with politics and trying to inspire change. But I personally don't like the Democratic Party bashing, especially when it comes from guys that like have really big voices and a lot of money. So if the Democratic Party loses, those guys are like very immune to the problems that are going to happen. And so I feel like if we're going to be left-wing commentators, we do exist in a two-party system we have a responsibility to rally behind the primary candidate winners in order to defeat MAGA. I believe that. I believe, like, I wish we had a third party that would give us a viable option, but I do believe in the absence of a third party that is viable, we have to back our primary candidates. And that needs to happen in an election year. And we have to get energized about it. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing is, though, is 𝗙𝗏𝗪, I get it. They believe in calling out the hypocrisy of all politicians. I get that, but there's a time and place. Okay, so after you win, you can call out the hypocrisy of your politicians. But during an election year, you shouldn't be calling out the hypocrisy of your candidates. Okay, you should not. Okay, during an election year, that should be off limits. There's no reason to be bashing your own party in the middle of an election cycle because you're going to fucking, you know what I mean? It's like bash them after you win. All right. But don't bash them when they're trying to win because, you know, we need to band together. You know what I'm saying? But the Dems are the reason we have Trump now. Yeah. See, the thing about this, guys, is the Dems are not the reason we have Trump now. The reason we have Trump now is because not enough people showed up and voted against Trump. Okay? 81 million people voted for Joe Biden. If 81 million people had showed up and voted in the last election for Kamala Harris, we wouldn't have Trump. It's I mean, I get it. People are upset at the Dems, but like, you know, they could still show up and vote. You could hate the Democratic Party and still show up and vote against Trump. But not enough of our voters voted for the Democratic candidate. And like, we choose the president, okay? The Dem leadership doesn't choose the president. At the end of the day, there's an election day and we all get to go like fill in a ballot. And so if Donald Trump wins, it's on us. You know what I mean? It's on the voters, the American voters. You know, and I agree that billionaires are the problem, but here's what I got upset about, okay? And yes, Elon was buying votes. I mean, there was a lot of rat fucking. But so let me just show you the gist of the discussion I got in with Social Butterfly, and I hope she's not mad at me. But so this was the post I saw today, guys, okay? And again, I follow Mike from PA. I don't hate this guy. Okay, I consider this guy an important part of the leftist coalition, right? And dude, I like Mike from PA a lot better than I like, say, the Pod Save America guys. Okay, however, I also realize that Mike from PA and the Pod Save America guys are like, they're all part of our coalition. And so, you know, if I had to choose between who I would rather spend time with, Mike from PA or the Pod Save America guys, I would choose Mike from PA, but we can't win an election without both. You know what I mean? Like, we need Mike from PA and Hassan and the Pod Save America guys and Ezra fucking Klein and all of these fucking, like, jackholes. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, we all need to stick together. But let me just show you. Okay, I'll show you where we got in, guys. Okay, Pod Save Mike. So it was this post that bothered me because here we are in election year, okay? You know what I'm saying? Here we are in an election year, and it is like, I'll show you the tweets that bother me, guys, okay? All right, is shit like this, okay? Like, look at this, okay? So the thing he's saying here, now, granted, He does have a point that we should be vociferously talking about ICE and shit, but these statements, this so clearly and objectively true that any Democrat who denies it is more of an enemy than even Trump, okay? This statement here saying like this Democrat is more of an enemy than even Trump, these types of statements, no matter what you're talking about, are dangerous to be floating around in an election year, okay? But here's the one that I got mad about today, okay, was this one, okay? right? This one says, I'll never forgive the centrist Democrats who forced Joe Biden on the country, even as 70% of Democrats consistently said he was too old. I'll never forgive the superdelegates who pledged for Hillary Clinton before the first primary vote was tallied. You fools gave us Trump. Okay? And now I get the frustration here, guys. I do. I just don't know that this type of sentiment is how we want to be kicking off an election year. Okay? I mean, is there some truth? Dude, there's a lot of truth to shit. I mean, there's a lot of truth that but guys, I think the truth goes both ways. Okay? Because first off, Joe Biden should never have run in the second term. Okay? Joe Biden should not have run for that second term. I absolutely wish Joe Biden had not run for the second term. But in the first term, when he ran in 2020, people were excited about Joe Biden. Joe Biden got a record-setting number, 81 million votes. People really went all in on Joe Biden, okay? People went all in on Joe Biden, guys, okay? And so he earned it in 2020, and he did a good job navigating us out of the pandemic, okay? Now, the superdelegates who pledged for Hillary, the superdelegates, though, they've been doing that since the fucking 70s. The superdelegates were not fucking, the superdelegates are not a new thing. And they did change that behavior, okay? But so here's what I said, though, guys, okay, is as I said, I mean no offense, but you should probably shut up about this nonsense before you give us more GOP and JD Vance. I'm like, this posturing is a dumb waste of time. Even in your revisionist history, if Bernie wins, that doesn't mean Congress doesn't fight Bernie. We don't have some utopia. We have a two-party system. And we need to keep the Dem tent together or we're going to lose again. And then I did say that he's only allowed to be this flippant about it because he's a white guy with money. Okay. And I am concerned about people in our coalition with money being flippant about this election because no matter who wins, they're going to be safe. There's a lot of people that don't have money that are going to be radically affected by these upcoming elections. And so I really want to see these guys working together. Okay. I want Mike from PA and Hassan and the Pod Save America guys and all of us, me who's sort of in the middle. I want us getting together and working together. You know why, guys? I'll tell you why, okay? Here is why, guys. It's because of this, okay? Because of this guy right here, dude, okay? This is our problem, okay? This is our problem, guys. And a lot of people will say oh, shit, there's a lot of things here why am I saying Gavin is our problem? Okay, because guys, here's why I'm saying Gavin is our problem. Because I am almost willing to bet anything that Gavin Newsom becomes the Democratic candidate. Okay, I'm telling you right now, we have to wake up and look at this because he is looking like he's going to get the vote. And the leftist people are going to have to contend with that. We have 2 years to prepare them for this. And I'm telling you right now, the reason why I think Gavin's going to get the vote is because Gavin is the person that American voters are going to think is a good presidential leader. Whether he is or not, it doesn't matter. I know the American voters, especially the white chunkers in middle America, the white independent voters are going to vote for this guy, right? A lot of Gen Z are going to vote for this guy. And so we're going to have to contend with what happens when this guy wins the nomination, okay? Because I know the people on the left hate this guy, okay? They hate this guy. You know what I mean? Dude, Anna will blow a gasket. So part of the reason why I'm even sort of talking about this is in preparation for what's coming. You know what I'm saying? You know, dude, I'm serious. I have mixed feelings about Gavin, but I'm telling you right now, I don't see anybody on the Dem side that I think can beat him at the moment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the only person who could maybe beat him out would be, you know, AOC, but I don't think AOC is going to run for president in 2028. I honestly don't think she is, but I think realistically, and I don't even know if she could beat him considering those middle white Dems. Mark Kelly, maybe. I don't know. Mark Kelly is like, doesn't have the same sort of pizzazz. Mark Kelly, I feel like Mark Kelly has a better resume, but Mark Kelly doesn't really have that. Like Gavin has that smarmy, like he's got that smarmy, like good looking car salesman vibe that, you know what I'm saying? Dude, you're far left. You're excited about Newsom. Dude, you know what I mean? And I mean, I like Gavin's aggressiveness. Okay, I do like his aggressiveness. Jon Stewart, yeah, but dude, Jon Stewart, guys, is never going to run. Okay, I'm telling you that right now. Jon Stewart is never going to run because, guys, you run for president and they fucking destroy your life. They shit all over you. They go after your family. They fucking gut your entire existence. They dig up every piece of dirt on you and you get dragged through the mud and you go through psychological wreckage. Dude, Jon Stewart's never going to go through that. He likes his life. He has a great life. He's a commentator. He's got freedom. Mostly his family is off limits. He's not going to sacrifice all that to get dragged through the muck of like becoming a presidential candidate. I mean, I would love if he did, but like, dude, you have to be mental to run for president, boss. You know what I'm saying? You have to be mental to run for president. You do. It is like they just gut you. You know what I'm saying? They fucking gut you, you know? So like, you know, it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. I know we have a long day. We have a long time ahead of us. But again, guys, I am going to be all in for whoever wins the primary. Okay. And I don't care if whoever wins that primary, I am going all in for. And because the enemy, the ultimate enemy is going to be JD Vance. Okay. You know, but anyway, can I just say though something? So the thing about 𝗦𝗂𝗽 that I got into today, and again, I don't know this guy that well, but there is somebody social from our community who's a member of his community and very much loves him. But so I got really pissed about this tweet today, and I was working on the Cenk Uygur video. So while working on the Cenk Uygur video, I see that 𝗦𝗂𝗽, Mike from PA tweet, and I got a little bit miffed about it, guys, because I was like, that's a weird energy to be putting out in an election year, okay? So I knew that Mike from PA had run for office in Pennsylvania like 10 years ago. So what's interesting is I did Google him. His name is Michael Byer, okay? And so I Googled him, and he ran for office in Pennsylvania. His mother was a Republican, okay? Mike from PA's mom was a Republican. And like a bunch of news articles talked about Mike from PA having been a Republican who switched parties, okay? And this is what's really bizarre to me, guys, okay? So you know what, 𝗏𝗡𝗀, I know I'm aligned with a lot of Mike's policy, okay? I know I am. I've heard him talk. I have a lot of fucking, so the thing is though, is the thing I'm wondering is the newspaper articles that I found, okay? the newspaper articles that I found said that here, let's find one. Said that Mike from PA switched from Republican Party to Democrat Party. Okay? Right? So what I was wondering is did he switch to Republican Party to be in the primary against the Simmons guy, and then he switched back to being a Democrat? Or was he a Republican like Cenk was, who then became a Democrat? Because there was a whole hubbub about this. But what I couldn't get is, what I was trying to get is, there was an implication here that Mike from PA had been registered as a Republican, okay? And that's what I was confused about. Was Mike from PA a Republican who converted to Democrat, or was he not, right? Because if you look at this, let me show you the article. Let me find the article, okay? It was this article. And me and Social Butterfly got into a fairly heated argument about it, right? Argument. I use that term loosely because it's all in chats, right? It's in everything feels like an argument when you're in a chat. But it was this article. Where's the article here? Okay, it's this article right here. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. Is this article right here, okay? Where it says, I know he's a total socialist now, okay? It's like, so the thing here is it says that, where is it here? You know, it says a Republican turned Democrat candidate called himself a lawyer, but isn't. Okay. And it says the Commonwealth, where does it say here? There was this big thing about him saying he was a lawyer. Okay. But it was, so was he? It says here that Michael Byer switched his party affiliation from Republican to Democrat to run against Simmons. So my thing was was he a Republican who then couldn't get on the Republican primary ballot, so he switched to be a Democrat to run against this guy? Or was he a Democrat who had switched to Republican to primary the guy, and then they wouldn't let him, so he switched back to being a Democrat? And the reason why I'm wondering about this, guys, okay, is because while I was making this video about Cenk, I was seeing these tweets from Mike from PA that were feeling very Cenk-like, okay? And so the thing, Johnny Socket, so Social Butterfly showed me a short where he talked about this article, but he didn't talk at all about him switching parties. He only talked about the lawyer part about it. So what I'm looking for is some confirmation as to whether this guy was a registered Republican before that race. Is he a former Republican who switched? I am just curious about that because guys, the reason why I ask this is if our far left socialist people are former Republicans, I think that's relevant, okay? Because what I have known with in politics, watching over the last 10 years, is that Bernie was sort of the great catalyst. There were a lot of people who were Republicans. They definitely weren't Democrats, but they were Republicans, and then they hated the Republicans too. And then Bernie came along, and Bernie was this fuck both of these guys people. and they all got like very into Bernie, but at their core, they've never really been Democrats. And so they have been sort of caucusing with the Democrats because they don't like what the modern Republican Party has become. And so the problem I have is like where those guys actually stand. Because it feels like some of them don't want the Democrats to win. They want the Democrats to lose in order to try to take over the Democratic Party and make it like a leftist endeavor. And so I have a problem with that. I mean, I don't care if they start a leftist party and we form like coalitions, you know what I'm saying? But I do have an issue with people that are simply trying to destroy the Republican Party, especially when they're like dudes with like $1 million in the bank. You know what I'm saying? I have a fucking issue with that, you know, and like, you know what I'm saying? And because, you know, I want the Democrats to win. I want to defeat MAGA. And while I would love, guys, I would love it if we had multiple parties like Europe does, so we had to form coalitions. But what I don't want, guys, is I do not want the Democratic Party taken over by, you know, some like outlandish leftists, the same way that the Republican Party got taken over by the MAGA Trumpies, okay? I mean, I don't mind coalitioning with leftists, but I don't want like some crazy leftist demagogue doing to the Democratic Party what Trump did to the Republican Party. Because the Republican Party's about to be in a fucking mess, bro. Like once Trump is gone and dead, the Republican Party is going to be in a, like they are so rat fucked. You know what I'm saying? They're so rat fucked that like they're going to be a mess. And so it's really important to me, guys, that if you're members of these other communities with like Hassan and Mike from PA and even, you know, Emma Vigeland and shit, like we have to make sure that we all get on the same page. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You can ask him. Yeah, well, so Johnny Socket, it's hard because I don't have an avenue to him, but you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll just go in his chat and ask him and see if he responds. You know what I mean? I think if you guys are from a community, you know what I'm saying? If you guys are from his community, you should ask him. I mean, we're learning a lesson with Cenk Uygur, you know, because again, though, even no matter what, even if he was a Republican who converts, that's not the worst thing in the world. Republicans do switch parties. I'm not opposed to Republicans becoming Democrats. You know what I mean? I think Ashley St. Clair might be doing this switch right now. And a lot of people switch. You know, like my mom was a Republican who essentially moved more to the Democratic Party too. But I guess my concern, though, is if he's willing to play nice. You know what I'm saying? If these guys are willing to play nice in this election, and because I am foreseeing, guys, okay? I am foreseeing Gavin Newsom ending up our candidate, and then I am seeing Hassan and Mike from PA and some of these other people, Anna and Cenk, like trying to deliver us a J.D. Vance victory. And then wanting to blame it on the Dems, saying, you gave us a bad candidate. But like, if Gavin Newsom wins the primary, he's not winning the primary because Dems gave us a bad candidate. He's winning the primary because the fucking voters voted for him, okay? And we do have to get over ourselves with that. You know what I mean? I mean, in this last election, you could say that people didn't vote for Kamala because she didn't actually win a solo primary. There may be some weight to that, but dude, it was highly problematic that, you know, Joe Biden ran. Like Joe Biden shouldn't have run, you know, if in hindsight, I mean, everybody wanted him to not run. But we aren't anywhere near there. And you're right. You know what's funny though? Like Bingewood, you are right that we aren't anywhere near there. However, We do need to win this House, okay? Like, we need those guys advocating for Democratic victories in 2026. Like, we have a historic chance to flip a lot of seats here. And we're not going to do that if some of our biggest voices on the left are like doing nothing but talking about how the Dems are worse than the Republicans, okay? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? That is a fucking a total issue that we have here. If we don't win the House here, we are in deep shit, guys. You know what I mean? And again, guys, when you guys say, okay, when you guys say about, you know, about Gavin Newsom and ICE, you got to remember, okay, that Gavin Newsom, like, he fought Trump and the Trump nationalizing the, you know, trying to federalize the National Guard, and he won that battle, guys. So if he's like trying to walk a purple realm, right, in his quest for the presidency to like not get labeled a defund the police fucking candidate because he doesn't want to suffer the pangs of the Republican PR campaign with that, I don't think it's important. I think what's important is what Congress and the president do after they win, okay, which is going to be to defund ICE. And I have no question that if Gavin Newsom were to win and were to have like majority, you know, 51 in the Senate and a majority in the House, that they will defund ICE. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? You call bullshit on that because you don't recall any Republicans running against Trump. So yeah, but so DPD, the thing about Biden running again, DPD is he was old. We saw that Joe Biden was like losing some of his magic. He had slowed down. We kind of knew he wasn't going to be able to bring that youthful energy to fighting Trump that he did in 2020. And we knew that half the Democrats were calling him Genocide Joe. So like Joe Biden and his team should have recognized that he was kind of politically poisonous and not the fault of Joe Biden necessarily. I mean, some could say, yeah, he made some decisions. But the thing is I could tell that Joe Biden was like struggling. Okay. And he certainly didn't have that like confidence ensuring smoothness. Like even in 2020, he was old, but he didn't look old. And by the time we got to 2024, he looked old, and he shouldn't have been running again. You know, too many people were like holding him responsible for Gaza. He was in that situation where him dropping out would have like, you know, allowed us to get excited about somebody else. You know, I think it's just an unfortunately difficult political situation. Sometimes you got to read the tea leaves and know, you know, if he had been 20 years younger, maybe he could have fought his way through that. But he was a little too old to fight his way through it. And I don't think his team let him know clearly that, like, wow, you're dividing the caucus. You're dividing the Dem party right now. And so you should fall on the sword. You know? Yeah, but so DPD, though, the thing about it is, though, is the point you're missing is you can't compare Biden to Trump because the Republicans will vote for a fucking pedophile. They don't care if their candidate is the worst human being on the planet. The Democrat voters do. Okay? Democrat voters, if they fucking eat their own party, they're going to like not get excited. The Republican voters will vote for a rapist. They don't care. And then those voters in the middle just sort of look at who's excited and who's not. And the whole year we were all fighting and we were all panicking. Oh, our candidate, the debate, he was like not there. And then everyone was fighting over Kamala Harris. And then they were fighting over Tim Walz. And then they were fighting over the shit Kamala said. And the Republicans were like, we have the best candidate ever. So all these ignorant voters in the middle were just like, well, we're going to go with the team that's not fighting. And so that's my point is like our real problem is not the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. Our real problem are the idiot voters in middle America who are white and they're uneducated and they literally just vote for who has the best vibes. Okay? And like, so we have to make sure that we have good vibes. No matter who our candidate is, even if we all hate the candidate, we need to have the vibes. And then you get the win. And then after you get the win, you fucking, you like attack your candidate. And you know what I'm saying? After you get the win, you petition your candidate and protest and then hate them. Right? You have a year after you get that win where there's no election and you can just bash the shit out of your party and you can go protest them in the White House and make your demands, put your signs up of the things you demand. You have a full year to protest and let them know how you feel after you get that win. Then you have to back off a little in the second year because you have an election. Then in year 3, you know, like even now, 2027, we can bash again. But come 2028, you can't. Right? And those are just the rules, right? That first year, you protest your guys. Second year's an election. You get all smiley and pull together. Third year, you protest your guys and demand change. Year 4, you get together and you win the fucking election. And these are like unwritten rules that have to be obeyed. And if you don't do it, you continue losing. And I get frustrated because sometimes the Democrats seem to forget those rules. They want to start protesting. You know what I'm saying? That didn't work. We got Biden. He didn't fix what Trump did. Yeah, but so Thomas, though, here's the problem is you can't, Biden couldn't fix everything Trump did because Congress makes the laws, guys. Okay? Congress makes the laws. So the president is not important. You can have a centrist president. You need progressives in Congress. And there aren't any progressives in Congress. You know, there's hardly any, okay? It's like as long as you have a centrist Congress, you know what I'm saying? Did I miss your super chat? I'll go back and get it, Miranda. Let's go. Miranda, let's go. Gavin is against a billionaire tax. Not good. Let's go. Thank you, Miranda. So the thing is, though, is like, I don't put too much stock into what people say when they're running for office. You know what I'm saying? I don't, because they're going to say a lot of shit, right? There are going to be candidates. A progressive candidate would say, if I win the presidency, you're getting Medicare for all. But guys, we know we ain't getting Medicare for all with this Congress. So anybody who runs for president and says we're getting Medicare for all, they're fucking lying to us because they can't deliver that right now. I mean, we want Medicare for all, but we do need to figure out what we're going to do about the insurance companies, right? Because the insurance industry is a massive industry. So we have to figure out, like, we have to have a plan to get Medicare for all. Like, what are we going to do? Oh, dance party goal. All right. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely want Medicare for all. I talk about it, but like, how are we going to actually get it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're going to need hundreds of progressives in the Congress, but then we're also going to need a plan for how we dismantle or co-opt the insurance industry. How are we going to get those insurance industry billionaires to let us just kill their industry? And then what are we going to do with all those people that are working in that industry? Are they going to become part of the government healthcare industry? Like, right? How are we going to do it without crashing the economy? You know what I'm saying? And you know, I mean, Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin fucked up some Biden shit. Okay. Biden's Build Back Better was actually pretty forward thinking. And if Sinema and Manchin hadn't fucking crashed some of those Biden initiatives, maybe Biden's presidency would have been a little further left than we give him credit for. Dude, LFG, Ella, you know. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Dude, you know? So I don't know. I mean, I don't hate Joe Biden. I just think once he made the move to run again, I was like, fuck, bro, we're in trouble. You know, we're in trouble. And Jen Cole, I'm not talking about the insurance agents. I'm talking about the insurance industry. Okay. Like if you look right now, how many, you ready? So look at this. How many people work in the health insurance industry? Okay. Look at this. The U.S. health and medical sector, okay, is almost 1 million people. Okay. Like between 600 and 900,000 people are in the health insurance industry. Okay. That's not even counting the people that are in the medical industry administrating. So like, that's an industry that, how much did the health insurance industry make? So 71 billion in earnings, okay? Which means in order for us to get Medicare for all, like a $71 billion insurance industry employing 900,000 people. So what are you going to do with that? Are you going to, obviously we can't have the federal government just pay for the health insurance because that they're going to loot that. Right? Like the health insurance needs to go away. But what are you going to do with an industry that generates $71 billion and employs 1 million people? If you just like delete those companies and delete that 1 million jobs, there's 1 million lost jobs and 71 billion in lost economic profit. That would be devastating to the economy. And if you're going to have the government just take it over, right? So how do other countries do it? Iron Fist, they did it earlier. Okay. So other countries did it before the health insurance became this ginormous thing, guys. And that's the key is like they did it before it became a behemoth. And guys, I'll be honest. You ready for this? You ready for the heartbreaking thing, guys? I don't mean to break your heart, but I'm going to break your heart. Is our Democrats were working on this in the 70s. Okay. In the 70s, Democrats were prepared to do health insurance, health coverage for everyone. But Jimmy Carter and the Democrats got mad at each other, and the Democrats sank their own shit to get even at Jimmy Carter. And then Ronald Reagan became president, and we fucked it up. Okay. And I don't believe that there's like, I believe there's hope. What I think though is like, I think it starts with us figuring out how we're going to do it. And I think the reason why we haven't been able to solidify behind it as a plan is because we haven't come up with a coherent way of like doing it. And I think if we figure out how we're going to do it, we'll be able to sell it to people more. Because people are afraid that if we do it, they're going to lose everything and they're just not going to have any medical coverage and it's all going to fail and then they're all going to die. You know what I mean? And so like, unfortunately, the insurance industry is now this giant, like the other countries did it before their insurance industry controlled their politicians and controlled a huge segment of the economy. You know, I mean, let's look at the health insurance industry in Europe. Okay, let's see. So this is like saying the insurance market, but it's not saying how much the companies made. So how does the health insurance work in Europe? All right. So what is European? Let's talk about European health insurance. What is European health insurance? Does that provide people extra like bonus coverage if they don't want the public option? Or what is the European health insurance? Okay. Their option is like rich people buy private insurance, or is their insurance company part of their fucking, is their insurance company part of their, right? You pay taxes and it goes to healthcare, but does it go to the insurance companies and the insurance companies pay the providers? Okay, so private insurance, private companies have, so they have single payer for the poor people, but the rich people can buy insurance, and the rich people buy insurance, which gives them like premium health care. So they have mandatory payroll contributions to nonprofit funds, and then government funded. Oh, I see. So then they also have a European health insurance card that allows you to get health care in other countries. So the European health insurance, right? The European health insurance companies are like the government. Is it the government? You know what I'm saying? Dude, I feel like I need to do some research. You know what I mean? I need to do some research on this. Because the problem we have, guys, okay, the problem we have in the United States is this, is we have medical providers, okay, that sell medical care. And then we have an insurance industry that sells people a promise of paying for their medical care. But the insurance industry makes a profit by denying their promise, okay? And then we have the government comes in and offers up money to help pay for medical care for the poor and for the disabled and for the elderly, okay? But the problem is everything costs a different amount depending on who's paying for it, okay? And then corporations get access to health insurance in exchange for offering people low wages. So we have a system that locks people into low wage jobs in exchange for insurance, but then the insurance will opt out of paying for shit in order to profit. So the people ultimately get screwed all the way around. But what ends up happening is the amount you pay for providers is different everywhere. And so the wealthy people get really good care and the poor people get really bad care, okay? And the wealthy you are, the wealthier you are, the better chance you have of actually receiving care. It is, dude, the American system is so predatory. It is like capitalist. Rich people get good care, poor people don't. And that's it. And everybody is trying to make the profit. The healthcare industry is trying to get maximum profits. The health insurance industry is seeking maximum profits. There are companies that try to like coordinate your healthcare. They're looking for profits. And then the government, it gives money to help out. And then often though the states, they dole out the government money. And then there's a lot of fraud because they don't have any mechanisms to really follow up and track where that money goes. So the government gives out Medicare money, and then the states, like once it hits the state, who knows where that money goes? Like in Mississippi, where some of that money for the, welfare went for, to build Brett Favre's daughter's gym in college, right? Because the states will take that government money and do whatever with it. and the government has no like monitoring system, you know? And so, yeah. So it is like it, and what's weird is the healthcare providers and the health insurance people are battling each other because they want to stay more profitable. So the healthcare providers are trying to stay profitable, and the insurance industry is trying to like reduce the amount to pay them so they can make more money. Dude, Ella, let's go. All right, guys. Dude, let's go. We got 18 minutes. We need 18 and 18. So yeah, so dude, it is like in America, there's a fucking kerfluffle. Okay, there is. Like America's, dude, Favre blocked me. Okay, dude, Brett Favre, he blocked me, boss. I'm on his bad side, dude. Right? Yeah, there he is, dude. He no likey me. Hey, I tried to, you know. We, the taxpayers, are paying for senators and representatives' health care. I know, dude. Yeah, I know. Colon cam? What is colon cam? Private just means quicker? Yeah. No, I get it. So, I got you. So in Europe, privately insured Europe people get access to a better quality care. Yeah, see, that's the thing that is hard is even in a public model, right? If you have a public model and you have a private model, it can often mean the public people don't get any care at all, right? You know what I'm saying? Or, right? That's like the other danger. Like what'll happen is if we have a public healthcare in America and we have private health insurance, what's going to ultimately happen in America, the way American corporations work, is the public ones will take a whole bunch of money from the government and they'll provide the lowest standard of care possible because they will want to profit off of the system. Right? Like that, the thing we have a problem with here is like, we gotta take the profit motive out of healthcare, like entirely. Like, I don't think healthcare should be you shouldn't be able to have a healthcare company on the stock market. Like, there's no way, bro. Like, the healthcare companies need to be non-profits. All the way, no profit motive whatsoever. They need to have limits on the amount of money they can spend on administration. Nobody should be the head of a hospital making like $1.5 million a year. Like, no. You need a cap on the highest wages. I have had a colonoscopy. I had one, I don't know, 8 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that. Or yeah, a year ago, somewhere. Like, you need to have a cap on the amount of like income that these hospital and healthcare administrators can make, right? Like income caps, and those industries should be non-profit. Okay. You know, they should be non-profit. There is no, you know, I mean, and it's so crazy. If you go into the hospitals, you have like the top level administrators are all making more than the surgeons, dude, literally. Dude, if you go into a hospital, the administrators are making the most money in the hospital, okay? The people up at the top of that hospital are taking in millions, and the emergency room doctors are making barely any money. Dude, it's brutal. It's fucking brutal, dude. Like, American healthcare is a brutal savage. It is a savage fucking world, boss. All right. Yeah, dude, I'm like trying to take care of all my shit too, because I don't know what's going to happen. All right. Are we ready, guys? We ready? We ready to get into some more politics? I love this healthcare discussion. I love how we fucking ping around. Let's look at some of this shit. Dude, dance party, Ella, let's go! Let's go, let's go. Dude, surgeons save your life. Administrators put you in an alley. Dude, hypermobile, let's go. Dude, we love that, New Zealand. Let's go, baby, let's go. All right. So, what do we got going on, guys? Right? You go to your local witch doctor. Let's go. 16 and 13. We'll get there. Dude, stop stupidity. Let's go, boss. Oh, shit. Bro. Dude, there is, what is this? Oh my God, dude. Dude, again, Trump is pardoning, okay? Trump is pardoning fucking everybody, bro. Like, why? Dude, he's pardoning all these fraud people, right? Dude, the billionaire who bribed her gave $3.5 million. And then Trump fucking like pardons people. Dude, every day he's pardoning some major fraud person. Like, what the fuck are we doing, boss? Okay? Look at this shit. This guy was the lead prosecutor in the corruption case against Puerto Rico's former governor, Wanda Vázquez-Garcet, who was charged with selling political power to a billionaire banker. Today, according to public reporting, after millions flowed to MAGA Inc., okay, from the daughter of the very banker we charged with bribing the governor, Trump pardoned the governor and the banker. Dude, stop stupidity. Let's go, baby. Somebody stop the stupidity, please. Fellow career prosecutors and I brought the case, and a federal grand jury found that probable cause supported the bribery charges. After I resigned over the Eric Adams matter, according to public reporting, DOJ leadership overruled career prosecutors, authorized a misdemeanor plea deal. Then today, Trump pardoned the defendants for those misdemeanor convictions. Again, this was after $2.5 million flowed from the billionaire defendant's daughter to MAGA Inc. This isn't over. This is another sad day for the rule of law in America. These defendants were presumed innocent until proven guilty. But the people of Puerto Rico deserve to see this case go to trial. So, dude, that is brutal. FDT, yes, Ella. So basically, in short, what happened is this guy was the prosecuting the corruption case. They got grand jury indictments, and they were going to do this case. Then Eric Adams, the little quid pro quo for Eric Adams shows up, and this prosecutor and a bunch of other people stepped down. Because remember how Trump canceled the Eric Adams case? And see, guys, there's a legal ethics thing that exists, guys, in the ethics of lawyering. There's not a lot of ethics in lawyering, but there are some. But one of them is you take a legal oath that says if you have the evidence to prosecute a case, you will prosecute a case. Okay? You can't not prosecute a case that has enough evidence for that case to be prosecuted. That's part of your oath. So when they went in, when Trump went in and his DOJ said, okay, we're not going to prosecute Eric Adams, that set alarm bells off with a bunch of lawyers who are like, you're breaking the oath. Like, this is an open and shut case. We have all the evidence here. You're choosing not to prosecute a case that we have like just a slam dunk amount of evidence. And that is oath breaking. So essentially what Trump has done is he's filled his DOJ with people who don't mind breaking the oath, right? There aren't, Gypsy. There's not a lot of ethics in law. I mean, it gets difficult. The reason why I say that, And I know that sounds funny, but I think part of it sort of has to be that way. Otherwise, you would never defend a guilty person, right? The tricky thing about the law is that guilty people are allowed to defend themselves. So there has to be enough room for lawyers to be able to mount a defense for someone they know is guilty, right? Because your job as a lawyer is to try to win the case, not to necessarily, if the person is guilty, you like, right? That's where it gets shifty, because guilty is a verdict and a judgment, but it's not necessarily a truth. Like, people who committed the crime get not guilty verdicts all the time, right? Because the goal of the lawyer is to get a not guilty verdict. It has nothing to do with whether the person actually did the crime. And so you have an ethical problem there, because ethically, nobody should defend a person who did the crime, because you're seeking a not guilty verdict for somebody who got the crime. So there's an inherent ethical problem in being a lawyer to begin with, right? And that's what makes it it's a tough profession. Dude, Ella, let's go. Right? F this entire administration. Dude, I'm with you. Right? Because I mean, all my college friends are lawyers, and that's the thing about the law is the guilty or not guilty is just a judgment. It is not necessarily the actual truth of the matter, right? The law is a malleable, pliable thing that is used to achieve a verdict, but the verdict is often not anything to do with the truth of the case. Dude, halfway there, Ella, LFG! All right, guys, we need 10 and 6, baby. 6 minutes, then 10. All right, so Lenny, here, let me just tell you though, Lenny, when you're saying ICE did the same thing with Biden was president, it was a little different, Lenny, okay? Because so when Biden was president, the deportations were border crossings, okay? So let me explain how Biden did it. F the people that stand with them. Yes, stop the stupidity, I'm with you. So Biden deported 4 million people, but ICE didn't go shopping inside the U.S. seeking out undocumented people and then deport them. Okay, what ICE did when Biden was president was ICE patrolled the border and the border towns and the neighboring areas, okay? And then when people were caught crossing the border, they were deported, which is why that there were these inflated totals. That's what Biden did. That's what Obama did. That's what Clinton did. They were catching people at the border committing the crime of border crossing, and then they were deporting them. Now, they were in cities, but they were working they were working connected with local officials, because they weren't there trying to deport everybody. They were only going after specific sought after people. Now, the problem with Trump is the reason why Trump will not work with these cities, okay? The cities won't work with Trump because Trump is not being reasonable about his deportations. For the dance party, let's go, stop the stupidity, let's go. All right, he's not being reasonable because the thing about Trump is Trump wants to deport every person. He wants to denaturalize people. He wants to deport people who have green cards, okay? You know what I'm saying? And no, Lenny, you are wrong. The majority, there's 5% of the immigrants being deported under Trump are fucking criminals. Now I have to bounce you from my chat because you're fucking lying, boss. Okay? Now you're lying, dude. You are flat out lying. You're saying the majority of first off, there's no such thing as illegal. The majority of undocumented people, it's not illegal to be undocumented. But Lenny, you need to GTFO now, boss, because you're lying. You are flat out lying, dude. It's 7% are criminals. Okay? So now you need to go away, Lenny. You need to go fucking polish Trump's knob somewhere else, buddy. Get fucking shit on, bro. Seriously, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Dude, you're not going to come into my chat and just flat out fucking lie, dude. And just so you know, Lenny, I know you can still see me. Dude, it is illegal to cross the border. But once you cross that border, if you don't get caught crossing the border, it is not illegal to be undocumented. There is no criminal violation for that. It is a civil paperwork violation. So you are wrong, Lenny. You are like spewing propaganda that has been sold to you. You don't even know the truth, dude. You're being willfully ignorant, boss. Okay? It is not illegal to be undocumented, which is why what Trump is doing is so outlandish and why no one's going to help him. Yeah, no, he got bounced, dude. Dude, you can't be ignorant all your life. Dude, Private Reserve with the 5 punk gifteds. Let's go with the memberships. All right, guys, we need 3 more in 2 minutes. Let's catch up here. Dude, we got Thomas Paine, Free America Walkout, January 20th, Help Fight Fascism. Dude, make sure you put that in the organization channel, Thomas Paine, okay? And I will fucking hypermobile, let's go. Appreciate you, boss. We'll put it out there. Dude, Stop Stupidity, let's go, baby. Dude, let's go. Dude, Ella, we got this punkin' punkettes. Let's go. We do got this. Dude, it's illegal to smoke weed, but not illegal to be high. Yes, Angie. I mean, and let me just tell you this, guys. I'm going to explain something here in a minute. Dude, James Dutoit, let's go. Let's go, baby. Dude, for everyone that is awesome here, Stop Stupidity, let's go. There are a lot of laws like that have those gray areas and a whoop whoop. Ella, let's go. Like, for example, guys, you ready for this? I'm going to give you an example. People hate the weed example, but I use the weed example a lot. So federally, marijuana is illegal, okay? But many states have legalized marijuana, and they have an entire operation of marijuana sales and laws that have legalized marijuana, even though it is federally illegal, okay? And the federal government realizes that there's nothing wrong with some states having marijuana legal. And so they're not prosecuting states that are fucking offering, you know, a different version of the marijuana laws. And now the reason why I bring this up is because you could be doing the same with the immigration. We do have immigration laws that, of course, if you catch people crossing the border, that is an illegal act. And you can absolutely deport them and arrest them for doing that illegal act. But once they get across, they're undocumented. Now, they're not illegal, okay? They are not. They are not breaking any laws being undocumented. Now, different states have different rules for undocumented people, okay? Now, you could simply fucking, you know, allow the states to have their own way of handling those undocumented people since they're not breaking any federal law, okay? And that's the way it's always been done, okay? Now, the problem is Trump is trying to claim that these undocumented people are breaking federal law, but they're not, okay? Like sanctuary cities are providing, you know, whatever. They have different rules for undocumented people, but like, dude, there is no federal law that says an undocumented person is breaking the law. They're not. And many of them that are undocumented didn't even cross the border. Some of them got in legally, claimed asylum, or came in on visas and then simply stayed. Okay, so even being undocumented doesn't mean you even committed the law breaking of crossing the border. Okay, and so the thing is though is Trump is essentially doing a militarization of ICE based on a lie, and that is based on the lie that any state that accommodates undocumented people is breaking the law when they're not, okay? They're not. And in fact, guys, you notice what Trump doesn't do is they don't punish the companies that hire undocumented people. Trump himself employed a bunch of undocumented people until he became the Republican president guy, and then he switched it to H-1Bs, but he still hires immigrants, like almost exclusively. And that's why the H-1B thing even exists, is to accommodate him to be able to hire immigrants and still like look like he's doing it differently. Okay, now the thing about this, guys, is these guys are bullshit artists. Okay, they're bullshit artists. The whole thing behind ICE right now is trying to reward J6ers, trying to militarize America even more, because the military power, the militarization of America, that's money for their donors, for their lobby. Okay, that's money. If they militarize ICE, that's a lot more guns being sold. That's a lot more breastplates and Kevlar and flak jackets and fucking gas masks. That is an entire industry that is a huge, huge donor to Republicans. That's more drone contracts for the company that Don Jr. is a part of. I mean, they're just militarizing America because it's a goddamn cash register for him and his friends and his donors and his family, okay? They don't give a shit about immigrants. They don't. They don't bust the employers who hire them. They hire them themselves. You know how many fucking Republicans have an undocumented nanny or whatever, or have had, or have like people cleaning their houses that are undocumented? Like, believe me, they're like a plenty, boss. The whole thing is a con job. It is a way of ginning up hatred. It is a way of ginning up hatred that gets their, resentful and angry base, like, voter activated. I mean, dude, it's pretty gnarly, guys. It is pretty gnarly shit, okay? It is gnarly shit, boss. Dude, hold on. We got to check in. Oh, have we passed him yet? Let's see, dude. Oh, we're almost caught up, guys. Dude, we're going to pass the womp womp people. All right. If you guys want to like that tweet, there you go. You want to like and share that tweet, dude. We gotta pass the attempted racial motherfuckers. Dude, isn't that wild? I mean, the whole immigration thing, guys, is a scam, because at the end of the day, guys, all we would really need to do is create a more feasible path to citizenship, and we wouldn't even have an undocumented fucking person, right? The only reason people remain undocumented is because the path to citizenship is expensive and complicated and out of the reach of most people. Okay. And so we could make a path to citizenship that is quicker and smoother and more available, and we wouldn't even have this issue. Okay. We wouldn't have this issue. It's like now it's like 10 years or something, 14 years, and you need lawyers and this, that, and the other. I mean, it's like, I just don't see why we have this huge issue. I mean, see, here's what's crazy about it is normally the reason why countries have barriers to quick citizenship is because of the medical benefits and stuff, right? Like if you go to the UK, it's hard to get that national insurance number because they don't want people going over there and becoming UK citizens just to get healthcare and then bouncing, right? Obviously, they don't want people just playing the system. So there are barriers to like your citizenship. But here in America, like you don't get anything. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not, like we don't offer citizens anything except the right to, have your health insurance company fuck you over. You can get exploited with low wages and right. And you have very limited protections as a renter. I mean, dude, right? Maybe you can collect a little bit of welfare benefits, but even that's not much, right? Like welfare benefits are not that much. People act like they're this huge deal, but like, dude, if you get welfare benefits, you're not taking in that much money. It's not really enough to live on, you know what I mean? So it's a little weird that we have such a crazy citizenship barrier when we don't really offer citizens anything except the right to be exploited. It's always mystified me. Like we offer immigrants the least And yet we're the hardest country to become a citizen of. And if after gaining citizenship, someone commits a crazy crime, automatic heavy sentence. I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, it's like, it's pretty wild, dude. How rich are the immigrants? Yeah, I mean, dude, this idea, they always sort of make it seem like these immigrants are just have this luxurious lifestyle, You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the fantasy of living large, it's like there's this crazy like fallacy that people think that people that are collecting, like I've been on welfare, guys. Okay, I have been on welfare. I've been on it in 8th grade. We were on it for like a year and a half when my parents were struggling to get jobs in Wisconsin. Okay, and so like we had the big bricks of cheese, and I think you get milk and eggs, and you get some money. I don't know. It was the 80s. This was like 82, somewhere around there, and it was rough. There was like a stigma, and it was not a lot. And I remember we had some friends that were on a farm who gave us like 26 pounds of hot dogs one winter. And we ate hot dogs with like every meal. It was pretty crazy. I mean, it got so bad, guys, that was in my 9th grade year. I fucking called my dad's old boss back in California and negotiated him to get a job back so we could move to California and I would be able to take advantage of the free universities in California. So I moved my family back to California because we were so poor on welfare, eating hot dogs every meal. I'm like, dude, I'm getting us the fuck out of here. Okay, this is killing my parents. So it is not some crazy, like, we weren't walking around driving BMWs and shit like people think, man. And then there was one other time when I was a drug addict, when I was like 21, okay, 22, I did go down and I got some food stamps in LA, okay? Went down there, and let me just tell you, this was 1991. Everybody in the room was like, just like working the system, okay? There were some people there that were saying they were homeless when they were not, and they were doing that to get a welfare check. And a lot of people in there were like, they were all poor for sure, but they were all like, everybody in the room I was in was like really poor, and they were like working the system to get a little help, which I didn't really see anything wrong with. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's nothing wrong with poor people. If you have an avenue, I mean, rich people take tax loopholes and they move their money to fucking offshore banks and shit to prevent like government payments. So they're taking money from the government with their lawyers and their tax people. So what's wrong with poor people going and fucking taking advantage of the system for poor people to get a little money? I don't see anything wrong with that. If the rich people can manipulate the system and get money, the poor people should be able to manipulate their part of the system and get some money too. I don't have an issue like whether you deserve it or not. It's like, if you're poor and you qualify and you want to get that money, go get it. Okay? And if you tell a lie or two to get it, go get it. I don't care. The rich people are lying all the fucking time, bro. All they do is fucking lie and move shit around and take care of advantages. Okay? So how I know Salt is because they were talking about it. Okay? They were telling me, like, are you new here? Here's what you say. Tell them you're homeless. Tell them this. Tell them that. And then you're going to have to check in once a month. So I was being, like, counseled by a bunch of people in the room. Now, there may well have been other people in that room that weren't doing that, but there were people in the room openly telling people how to acquire the most benefits. Okay? Now, for me, I didn't tell them I was homeless. I wasn't going to check in and do that, like the rigmarole. I got food stamps for 1 month, and then I stopped getting the food stamps because it was too much effort. Like, it's kind of a job to get that money. Like, if you're going to go and get those welfare benefits and you're going to go and meet with people and a caseworker and all that, it's a significant amount of work. And I wasn't willing to put in that much energy going down to the government building and wasting a whole day talking to people just to get $172 and some food stamps, right? I didn't want to do it. So I got my food stamps that one day and just moved on. But my point is I don't care. I don't care if the people deserve it or don't deserve it. If you can make yourself look like you qualify and you can go qualify and get those benefits, so what, right? Rich people do that shit all the time, okay? Rich people bend the law. There's laws set up for them to hide money. They have fancy accountants and lawyers that hide money, that move shit around in order to cover their profits and to avoid participating in paying taxes. And if they get to manipulate and lie and sneak, the poor people should be able to manipulate and lie and sneak too. I just don't think that this idea that the poor people need to be totally honest, and how dare you work the system when the rich people get to work the system. I think everybody gets to work the system. Dude, I was a bartender for years, guys, and I got a lot of money that I didn't pay taxes on, and I'm never going to apologize for that. And if I run for office and they're like, you didn't claim your bartending income as taxes, I'd say, fuck you. I was working the goddamn system the same way that Trump does, that Nancy Pelosi does, that every CEO does, that every rich person does in America. It's like, I'm going to work the system too, and I'm not going to feel ashamed of it. Okay? Like, don't tell me I should feel sad about it, right? I break the law every time I speed, and I speed often. Okay? Some of this shit is just like, some of the law is just bullshit, like made up to keep the poor people in jail and to let the rich people work the system and get away with it. So my thing is like, fuck you. I think the poor people, if anything, the poor people spend more money and do more for the economy than the wealthy people do that just take out loans and shit on their on their wealth. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my thing. I think if there's a system in place, as long as you're not committing outright fraud, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, committing outright fraud is different. If I was like, pretending I had a medical condition and going and filing a bunch of money, just taking hundreds of thousands of dollars out of Medicare when there's no health thing happening, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're just being fraudulent. But me not claiming cash tips, that to me was never committing fraud, because those cash tips are my cash tips. Okay, the government has no fucking, those things are not guaranteed. They're not part of my income. You have no claim on that. If I sell a pair of shoes on Craigslist for $50, you don't get to take some of my $50. Okay, fuck off. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And the reality is all those wealthy people like Elon, they only have wealth because of us. You know what I mean? So if they get to work the system, we get to work the system. Okay? That's my philosophy. This idea, though, is they want, right? Like, they want to drug test, right? They want to drug test the people who get food stamps, but they don't want to drug test Elon Musk, who gets $38 billion of our money while he's fucking high on ketamine and playing video games and doing the Nazi salute on Twitter. You know? The ultra rich get socialism. The rest of us are supposed to be rugged individualists. Our tax money goes to give tax breaks to the wealthiest. That's true. Dude, socialism is for the rich, bro. Right? It is. Dude, socialism is for the rich. I say drug test Elon Musk. Let's drug test the government contractors. Right? Dude, let's go. Dude, thank you, Pitchfork. Dude, I get heated about this, guys, because I think, like, I don't think it's fair that poor people aren't allowed to take advantage of the systems available to them, right? But when the rich people, okay, the rich people will take advantage of health savings accounts and fucking investments and capital gains. And right, the rich people will take offshore their money, Cayman Islands banking, Swiss bank accounts. They will fucking do S-corps, pass-throughs, all this shit. They are allowed to take every loophole, every fucking finagling they can do in order to protect their money, hide their money, get tax credits. And then the poor people try to take advantage of something available to them. And they're like, you need to go to jail. And it's like, fuck that, bro. Right? Like, fuck that, boss. That's bullshit. Like, for me, let the poor collect all the welfare money you can. I don't care. If there's a 20-year-old kid who is like a college dropout and he's getting food stamps and getting some fucking welfare payments while he's building a YouTube channel or starting a band or trying to become an actor, I don't care. I'm fine with that, dude. Like, if you can make it work, man. You're an artist out there just like using the system to try and do your art. Like, by all means, I support you in doing that, you know? And this idea, though, that like if the poor people take advantage, they're bad and they're fucked and they need to be brought to justice, but the rich people get to do it. Dude, that's bullshit. Let the poor like do it. If you can get welfare and food stamps here in Oregon Trail Card, a lot of people get that. A lot of young people get that. Okay? And nobody cares, dude. I don't care. I don't care if a young person, 18-year-old kid has an Oregon Trail Card and is getting some free food. I'm happy that some of our tax money goes to that. I'd rather have our tax money go to free food for 18-year-olds than to buy a goddamn stadium for a billionaire, right? You know what I mean? Would I want to put a football stadium here and buy a football stadium for some rich prick worth $7 billion? No, I'd rather have my tax money feed some 18-year-olds who are out there trying to change the world. Like, come on, man. That's a no-brainer, bro. Like, fuck it. If you can get an Oregon Trail Card, by all means, I support that. I love that. I love it. Dude, I'll pay for young people's food all day long, bro. You know, that's my philosophy. And I don't understand why more of us don't have that philosophy. Why do we feel the need to give wealthy people more money? What is wrong with us that like somebody like Elon, he's a fucking nearly a trillionaire, and you're like, let's get Elon more money. Like, let's make sure Elon can get less taxes and like more wealth. I want Elon to have more wealth. Why the fuck would we want to do that, boss? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, right? Dude, give me a fucking break. If you want to know where the fraud is, guys, the real fraud is the wealthy, okay? They're the real fraud, always. Always have been, always will be. Dude. Why would people want that power? Yeah, well, you know, Pitchfork, see, I understand why Elon wants it for the power, but what I don't understand is all the bootlickers who support Elon being a trillionaire when they're all like piss poor, right? Like, what is it with all the working class white people in middle America who love Elon being a trillionaire? And like, but it also means they're never going to own a home, and they're like voting for Elon to have even more wealth. Like, what kind of fucking brain damage is that, bro? That is like some of the craziest Stockholm syndrome I've ever seen. And dude, it's pretty crazy. Like, when I was a gamer and I came out against billionaires, the gamer kids were like livid, bro. They could not accept the fact that I had fucking said billionaires were bad. They were like, how dare you? They love billionaires. Dude, that's how they got so rich. They're all are frauds. I mean, true. I don't think you become a billionaire without being a fraud to some degree. It is a type of Stockholm syndrome. Dude. Polished knob syndrome? Dude, PKS? Oh, shit. This is why I watch you every night. Let's go. Dude, I'm serious. I mean, guys, I'm a working class guy, though. You know, I grew up in a family, like my parents never made more than $12 an hour when I was growing up. That's where my parents maxed out. They maxed out at $12 an hour jobs, boss. You cannot earn $1 billion. No, you cannot, pitchforks. You can only extract it from the system. Thank you for that membership. Let's go. Humiliation kink? They probably do. All right, you ready? Let's look at some of this shit. I could rail at the rich all the time, dude. I could rail at the knobs, right? The knob polishers. But so let's look at some of this stuff, all right? Because I think some of this stuff is interesting. The first thing we got to look at, guys, is this. You ready? This is the crazy shit going on, okay? Is Tim Walz, okay? Look at this shit right here, dude. The Justice Department is investigating Tim Walz and Jacob Frey over alleged obstruction of law enforcement. Obstruction. For an alleged bowel obstruction of Donald Trump, dude. Oh, change my diaper. Dude, Walz and Frey refused to change Trumpy's diaper. I'm going to investigate you. Oh, Trumpy. Dude, now they want to investigate them. But here's the thing that's funny about this, guys. Is like the Trump DOJ is breaking the law every day right now. Okay? They are. The Trump DOJ is breaking the fucking law with this Epstein files. They are not compliant with a federal law, the Epstein Files Transparency Act, signed into law that said all of that shit needed to be released on December 19th. They haven't done it. They haven't issued a statement about their redactions. They've released less than 1%. So now we have an illegal DOJ and a non-compliant DOJ that is breaking federal law every single day, trying to say, oh, we're going to investigate these guys for obstruction. Dude, what are we doing, bro? I mean, this is all bullshit. This is all like, oh, gives the DOJ something. It's like, man, until you release the Epstein files, you shouldn't be investigating anybody. Okay? Now, what's crazy about this, guys, is like, look at these guys. Dude, how everybody in here is like, ooh, they belong in prison. Okay? So now, all of these right-wingers, okay? Look at this. Asmongold, dude.
Yeah, holy fucking shit. This guy almost was vice president. Yeah, the biggest fall off in political history. Oh, my God.
So it is sick to refer to Americans who are ICE agents as Gestapo.
Dude, look at him. What is sick is to refer to American ICE agents as Gestapo. Oh yeah, Byron Donalds. You mean the guys that shot a mother in the face? The guys that just murdered a guy in Texas? The guys that are smashing windows and cutting seatbelts and firing flashbangs into cars with 6-month-old babies? Tear gassing, like shooting tear gas in a minivan? You fucking dunce. Dude, goddamn, bro. These guys are idiots. Dude, look at Asmongold. Look at his fucking face, bro. Just hold on one sec. I gotta screenshot this. Look at this guy. Dude, what is up with this guy's face, bro? Look at this guy's fucking head, boss. Oh, whoops. How do I fucking move this shit? Oh, there we go. Dude, look at this guy. Dude, I'm sorry. But, dude, young men in America are in trouble, dude. This guy, egghead is well said, dude. Dude, he is an egghead with like, I don't know if he's wearing a wig or what, dude. His house is just a fucking disgusting mess. This guy is like porn-addled, sitting in a fucking t-shirt that looks like it hasn't been washed in fucking 12 years, dude. Dude, Obama was president the last time this motherfucker washed his t-shirt. And he's out there, oh, they gotta arrest people. He's just like, yo, gamer boys, what do you want me to say here? Like, am I supposed to call for the arrest of Tim Walz? Will you leave me a $5 dono if I say Tim Walz needs to go to jail? Dude, he does. He looks inbred, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, dude, I want to see birth certificates of his parents. Dude, because his mom is definitely a sister wife. Asmon, this is it. Dude, we're having a birther controversy right now, Asmon. I need to see your parents' fucking birth certificates and their parents' birth certificates right now. Or I am insisting that you are inbred, boss. Look at this fucking guy, dude. Dude, there's no way, dude. And this guy's probably moving his money to a fucking Cayman Islands bank as we speak, dude. Dude, tell me I'm wrong, bro. There's no way I'm fucking wrong, dude. Tell me I am wrong. I am not wrong, dude. Hold on, we're gonna save that, dude. Asman, that's his sister wife. Look, dude, holy shit, bro. Dude. Look at him. Dude, this is the look. You know what's really going on right here with this look, guys? He's trying to read his chat. Okay? He's not a very good reader. So this is what happens when he's like, let's see, it says DATED, dated. Day, right? Dude, what are we doing? Dude, it's a fascist playbook. It's to obfuscate and gaslight. That's what they're doing. That's what they have been doing. It's what they will continue to do. Michael, you're not wrong. Dude, you're not wrong, dude. You were on that shit, boss. You're on the ball, bro. Dude, I'm telling you guys, this guy bothers me. Okay, you know why he bothers me? That face might give your computer a virus. It could. I'll tell you why he bothers me. Because this guy was never involved fucking politically. Okay? He was never involved politically. He's a fucking dunce, bro. He was just sitting there like mooking money off of like teenage boys, playing a little World of Warcraft, okay? Never involved in politics on Twitter. Okay, this guy was never actively involved. Okay, like with me, okay, I was always involved on politics on Twitter. Even when I was gaming, I was still politically twittering. Okay, I've been politically twittering all the way back to my fucking, the beginning of Twitter back in 2013. But this guy never made a political statement. He never made any statements about fucking people's human rights or shit until it became like cool to be a right winger, okay? And the minute it became like cool amongst the incel heads, like in the post Andrew Tate world, to start spewing right wing shit, that's when this guy started being like, oh, I'm gonna be like a bunch of gamers hate Hassan, so I'm gonna be like the opposite of Hassan. And he became like Mitch McConnell. Okay, where he's like, I'm just going to obstruct everything and I'm going to have bullshit points of view that are just the opposite of everybody and just to sort of like stir up some notoriety and be like one of the cool incel dudes. And yeah, it became an income thing, dude. But like, if you listen to him, dude, I went to his fucking stream once and you know what he was telling these kids? He was sitting there, no joke. He was being very serious. He was telling them, look, he's like, the reason that everybody comes for me is not because I have bad political takes. It's because I'm a Viking. I am descendant from Vikings. And so they are like terrorized by me. They are worried that I am going to come and like fuck them up because I'm a descendant of Vikings. And I'm like, dude, you look like I could fucking throw a bar of soap at you and you would just vaporize. You know what I'm saying? Like a Viking. Like, come on, bro. Like when he walks down the street, people think he's homeless. He goes out to the grocery store and people offer him $1. People are like, here, go get yourself a fucking Egg McMuffin. Here, why don't you come over and fucking clean my windows for me? You know what I'm saying? Dude, the self-proclaimed Viking, all right? Oh, he definitely would beat me in World of Warcraft. But dude, this guy, come on, bro. What are we doing, boss? What are we fucking doing here? Dude, all right, here we go.
Governor, you're wrong. You need to apologize to these agents. They're doing their jobs. They are Americans.
Look at him.
They serve this country with honor and decency and respect. do not diminish their work simply because you tried to make a cheap point that you could tweet. I yield back. Is it the...
Man. They've got to arrest this guy. They do.
Dude, they've got to arrest this guy. Dude, shut the fuck up, bro. Dude, you're gonna start arresting governors now? Dude, what are we talking about? And you know what I'm saying? Dude, they're sitting there like this is the MAGA people now. They're like, oh, we got to arrest this guy. Oh yeah, we don't like fucking Gavin Newsom. Arrest Gavin Newsom. Arrest, right? Oh, we're going to start arresting governors. We're going to go arrest Greg Abbott and fucking Sarah Huckabee Schmanders and all of these fucking dinks. Like, really? Like, you want to just, we're going to go arrest Ron DeSantis? I mean, Ron DeSantis might get arrested because him and his wife are looting a charity. His wife is defrauding a fucking charity. So his wife might get arrested. But this is fucking redonkulous, bro. Okay? That they gotta arrest this guy. Let's see where he goes with it.
Got to arrest him. They've got to put him in jail. They do. I love this. Oh my fucking God. That was insane. You say please and thank you? Yeah, no doubt, man.
Dude. Like, this guy is performing for knuckleheads, bro. You know? He is performing for knuckleheads. Dude, it is so redonkulous. Okay? And you know what's funny, too? Is Scott Jennings, guys, got in on this. Can I show you Scott Jennings real quick? Because look at this, dude. This, too, Scott Jennings, these guys are fucking disingenuous. Okay? They are with their, and MAGA's getting upset now. Okay? MAGA's getting upset because they're like, they're not arresting them. Why are they not arresting them? Why are they, dude, they need to be arresting them. Everyone is like, ooh, arrest. But look at what Scott Jennings did. This is what I woke up to today. Okay? Look at this. Okay, so here is Tim Walz's tweet. Okay? Look at Tim Walz's tweet, guys. All right? Watch this very carefully. So Tim Walz tweeted, state investigators have been on the scene in North Minneapolis. I know you're angry. I'm angry. What Donald Trump wants is violence in the streets. But Minnesota will remain an island of decency, of justice, of community, and of peace. Don't give him what he wants. Okay, so look at that. Okay, look at that. Minnesota will remain an island of decency, of justice, of community, of peace. He's saying to his people, Trump wants violence. Don't give him violence. Okay, he is advocating for nonviolence. Now look at what Scott Jennings tweeted. Scott Jennings tweeted, quote, Minnesota will remain an island. Walz cannot be more explicit. This buffoon believes he is seceding from the Union. We are well into Insurrection Act territory. And then he shows the Walz tweet, but he cuts it off. Dude, how fucked up is that? He's like saying that Walz is trying to secede, and so Trump needs to use the Insurrection Act, but he is like blatantly lying and misquoting Tim Walz. Blatantly. Tim Walz said Minnesota is an island of decency, of justice, and of like calmer heads. Nonviolence. Don't play into this shit. Be peaceable. Right? That's fucking wild, bro. And this guy goes on CNN. He's going on CNN doing this shit. Right? I mean, we know that Scott is a bootlicker. We know he is a Trump Epstein rapist filleter. We know this. Okay? We know it. He is like, right? He's like, Donnie, oh, come here, Scotty. Oh, touch me there. Right? We know he is. But dude, this is some bullshit. Right? Oh yeah, stop the stupidity. That's right. It is a handle. Dude, isn't that crazy? This is so fucked up. And everybody was calling him out, right? CNN pays him to fucking peddle lies, dude. And I mean, dude, I pinged him. He ain't going to comment, right? But it's like scumbags, boss. It is the heavy level of scumbaggery that we are dealing with, guys. An insane level of scumbaggery, guys, that we are occupied with. This is hardcore scumbaggery. And they're all doing it, though. You know what I'm saying? They're all, like, every one of them is engaged in this. You know what I'm saying? They're all engaged in this. Dude. Did Lev destroy Scott? Dude, let's see. Do we have that? Let's see if we have that clip. Where's the clip? Is this it? Dude, I want to see the clip. It must be this one. 58 seconds. Same clip. All right, let's see it.
Things that has, I think, riled up the Minnesotan community so much. A woman apparently walking in her neighborhood stopped and pressed to prove her citizenship. Or not even to prove her citizenship, to prove whether she was born in the United States, which doesn't necessarily indicate if you were a citizen. That's just one example of what has been going on in Minneapolis.
I mean, yeah, I mean, to me, it's like PTSD. I mean, remembering growing up in the Soviet Union back in 89, 90, going back there and then watching, basically, you couldn't walk the streets without being pulled over by the police asking you for your documentation. And now we're seeing the same thing play out here. I mean, he's getting his great rules and learning from the best Putin, you know, and he's following in his footsteps.
Dude,
I know Scott
look at
doesn't
him.
like it, but he's auditioning for 𝗙صeph's job. You know, when she leaves, he's gonna be the next press secretary.
Well, let me just first say,
Dude,
and I know
he's auditioning for 𝗙صeph's job of fucking penis control. Dude, so, I mean, we should talk about this, though, because there is 𝗙ście Noem, okay? 𝗙ście Noem was in the news here, all right, about fucking the thing about having your papers, okay? There is some mention of this. Let's fucking see where we got here, okay? Whoops. This was something else I wanted to talk about, okay? Where 𝗙ście Noem says people should be prepared to prove their citizenship. Dude, stop stupidity. Let's go, dude. Thank you, boss. Dude, we fucking love you, boss. Let's go. This is the most fun community. You all rock. They do. This is insane, guys. Okay? This is insane to think about. Okay? Where 𝗙ście Noem's quote, dude, wild card. 𝗙ście Noem makes Muppets look human. Let's go. First off, I want to stress something here, guys. That one of the things we need to know about 𝗙ście Noem is she herself is currently engaged in some government fraud. Okay? She has a firm that she is secretly connected to that is getting money from DHS contracts. Okay? Tricia McLaughlin, who also works from DHS, her husband is getting money from DHS contracts. These guys are like dirty. Corruption is like right in the fucking thick of it. All of them are. I mean, dude, her chief of staff is her adulterous, concubine. Okay? She is like sleeping with her chief of staff. She's an adulterer in this evangelical Christian fucking whatever bullshit administration. So she is fraudulent to the beginning, okay? But now, dude, look at what she says. Let's go look at the fucking quote, shall we? Let's go look at the quote she says, because this is insane, guys. Watch this.
Yes.
Madam Secretary, perhaps to follow up, why are we seeing Americans being asked on the street to provide proof of citizenship in Minnesota? Is that targeted enforcement? And are you advising Americans to carry proof of citizenship?
In every situation, we're doing targeted enforcement. If we are on a target and doing an operation, there may be individuals surrounding that criminal that we may be asking who they are and why they're there and having them validate their identity. That's what we've always done, in asking people who they are so that we know who's in those surroundings. And if they are breaking our federal laws, we will detain them as well until...
Again, being undocumented is not breaking a federal law, okay? That is the thing. Being undocumented in America, you are breaking no federal law. She's fucking lying.
We run that processing.
But she is basically saying, if ICE sees you, they're going to do a targeted, like, examination of you to determine if you are a United States citizen. So she's basically saying our ICE force is at any time can shake you down. And if you can't prove that you're a citizen, they can just take you in. And guys, that is some bullshit. That is some Nazi ass shit. Okay. And here's the problem is they've been arresting American citizens who had real IDs. Okay. Real IDs mean you showed up with your birth certificate. That is the way you get a passport now. A real ID, a passport. They've been arresting American citizens because they look at the real ID and they say, this ain't real. And guys, that's some horse shit. That is some horse ass shit for them to be claiming, right? You know what I mean? If they can automatically ask you to show your papers, they also have the power to say, we don't believe your papers are real. And then they just take you in and there's nothing you can do about it. And that is bullshit, okay? That is bullshit. Dude, Pitchfork said the term Christine Noem scares the fuck out of my dog. It's funny, it's cute, it's funny, poor girl, but the dog's probably right. The dog knows, dude, the dog does knows, Pitchfork. The dog knows, boss, okay? And hi, Tommy, hi, chat. You're awesome. Thank you, 𝗙ecie, baby. We appreciate you, boss. Good to see you again. Glad you're here. But guys, this is just a no-go, okay? You know what I'm saying? This is a no-go, guys. This is an untenable situation. ICE are not allowed to target specific individuals on the street and shake them down for citizenship. That is not okay. Racially profiling people or profiling people is not okay. And the fact of the matter is they can't say, well, we think they're committing a crime, because being undocumented is not a fucking crime. Okay? So this idea that we're going to have to walk around and show our proof of citizenship in order to, like, not be shaken down or arrested or jailed by ICE, that's a real problem, guys. And you, me, and everybody else has to have an issue with this, guys. Okay? We all need to have an issue with this. This is a no-go. I mean, dude, right? Let me see the things. Hold on. Let me see this. Let me find this thing. There was a thing I saw about, like, the Jewish people, right? Where, fuck, dude, I want to see if I can find this. Hold on, let me see if I can find this tweet. There was a tweet about the Jewish people in Nazi Germany that showed the list of steps to how they got them from just initially targeting them to putting them on trains. Because it was like a series of steps, guys, where it didn't start with people, like, ending up on trains. You know what I'm saying? It started with something much more innocuous. Let me see if I can find it. I don't want to look on stream because I'm worried I might see something crazy here, but let me see. Let me find this tweet. It was a really good tweet, guys. Oh, shit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this, boss. And they took the likes. You can't search likes anymore. Right? Oh, there it is. Okay. I think I liked it. Hold on. There's the likes thing. Dude, it was just so, like, the tweet was so fucking intense, right? Yeah, no miracles. They are absolutely trying to manufacture evidence that the election was stolen. I felt like Maduro was part of that. They're trying to find any little bit of election fraud, or a lot of times they're using shit that is not even, they're just trying to imply, like they want to have an excuse to crack down on the elections. And the only way they can really crack down on the elections is if they can try to prove or get like some sort of like social proof that these elections were rigged, right? They're desperately trying to create that narrative so they can do something outrageous and get away with it, you know? All right, hold on here. Dude, let me see if I can. It wasn't in my likes, so I didn't like it. But oh, I think I know where it is. Let me. Yes, no, the ICE has no jurisdiction over American citizens. And that is a real problem, guys. Like, even if you're blocking ICE, they're supposed to call the local police. Okay? Right? They're supposed to call the local police to come and handle that shit. They are like way out of their fucking league, boss, with this shit. Yeah, let me see. I swear I think it's in here. Dude, I mean, they're definitely, the thing I say though, guys, is I feel like I'm pretty sure this is going to backfire on them, because the fact of the matter is what's going on in Minnesota, what is going on in Minnesota is doesn't play well. I mean, even if you support fucking the immigration shit, it just doesn't look good. You know what I'm saying? Even if you support the immigration, it does not look good to be firing tear gas into a car with babies. Okay? That is never going to look good. You know what I mean? That's just not going to play, guys. Right? I mean, in like, you know, wrestling pregnant women to the ground, pulling a disabled woman out of her car and cutting her seatbelt. I mean, that kind of shit is even turning like their supporters away. Like I'm not finding this comment. but it's too bad. I knew it was a good one. It was something about it was something about how what they did to the Jews in Germany is first they said, you guys gotta you gotta like show us your papers. And then it was like, you guys gotta put on armbands. And then it was like, you gotta move to these ghettos. And then it was like, you guys gotta like no longer work jobs. And then it was like, you guys gotta get on these trains. And then next thing you know, they were getting gassed at the camps. But there was like steps, okay? It didn't go right to getting gassed, right? It first started with them having to prove who they were, and then they had to wear a marker, and then they had to go to a specific place, and then they got moved out of the cities, and it was like a systematic, like goalpost moving, where every time they complied and did the thing, they created more shit for them to comply with until eventually they were putting them on trains and putting them in camps and then like, doing away with them. And that's the problem that people fucking have, okay, is that, you can't demand we carry our papers because what's going to be next? Right? You're going to have to carry a voter registration card. And if you're a Democrat, you go to a fucking work camp. You know what I mean? I mean, this shit is real problematic. Pitchfork said, I'm not okay with these ICE people taking off their masks and vests and blending into society after Trump, just saying like Vegeta or Goku. Yeah, no, I agree, guys. I think we do need to do something about identifying these guys because I think we need to prevent them from being able to just pretend like they want to do this for like 3 years and then think they can take the mask off and just forget about it. Like, dude, like we have to start identifying these guys. I mean, we have facial recognition software too, right? We do need a new anonymous. Okay, we need a new anonymous where we need to start like outing these people. But now, can I show you something though? Because we have Joe Rogan. Okay, accountability's definitely got to be coming. But Joe Rogan here, okay, is let's see, let me find the clip, dude. All right, right here. All right, Rogan. Look at him though. Now again, guys, I don't trust Joe Rogan, okay? Because Trump promised this. He called these people vermin. He said that they were all rapists and murderers. He was lying about the election. Joe Rogan knows he is lying about the election, guys. Can I tell you? Let me see if I can find this clip, all right? Because I'm not going to put too much stock in Joe Rogan, okay? Because look at this. This was during the election. Rogan knew. You ready? Let me find it. Oh, let me find this clip. All right, hold on. I'm going to show you a clip here, okay? Because he had Donald Trump on, okay? But now here's the problem. Let me get into the transcript here, and I want to show you something. All right, there was an exchange where Joe Rogan talked to Donald Trump about the election. And he even said, hey, you got this huge Twitter following. If you had this proof, you could put it on Twitter and you could state your case to Twitter, and Trump like hedged from it. And Joe Rogan in this moment knew that Trump was lying about the election. And he fucking covered for him anyway, guys. Okay? He covered for him anyway. So now when Joe Rogan says this shit, hold on, let me fucking find it. Let me find the clip. I'm going to bring the receipts here. Okay, here it is. You ready? All right, watch this.
Well, how
And
about what
if you
happened?
think about the amount of money that they've given them when they've come here, the food stamps, the benefits that even our poor people aren't getting.
$200 billion, and that's a way low number.
Again, watch. This is all bullshit about all the immigrants getting free money and shit. Okay, but
It's a way low. You know, it's
Watch this.
interesting. New York has always been like, sort of like always looking for money. They've spent $100 billion on this stuff. I don't know where and they're not getting the money from the federal government. It's crazy. And because the mayor came out and said, we can't live like this.
They investigated him.
He gets by the way, I called it. I said, he just got himself indicted. This group is stupid, but they're vicious. They're stupid people, but they're vicious people.
The
which is a bad
2020
combination.
elections,
Here
you
we
say
go.
you have all this evidence that
Yep.
it was rigged. Why haven't you put this evidence in a consumable
I did.
form? In what?
Oh, I did. I have books on it, and by the way, books have been written on it. We have an author named Hemingway, who is a great writer. She wrote a book on it, but many books have been written on it. There are books that are. What's happened is judges don't want to touch it.
just watch.
They would say you don't have standing. They didn't rule on the merits. They ruled the merits never got there. The judges didn't have what it took to turn over an election.
Let's talk about the potential vulnerabilities for elections and election fraud. One of them is mail-in ballots. The other one is if someone can break into voting machines, if someone can hack
both are
voting
big
machines.
trouble.
Those are two huge ones.
So
And
Elon
what can be
Musk,
done?
Elon Musk, I think he said it publicly. I hope he did because I wouldn't want to be the one. But he's a really smart guy, and he's a very good guy with computers, right? You'd say he's
He's one of the smartest people alive.
anybody that can land that
Yeah.
20-story building and perfect and boom,
While he's doing Starlink, while
And
he's
while
doing
he's talking to
Tesla,
me about
while he
some-
owns Twitter,
and then
Yeah.
he agrees to Starlink,
and he tweets 100 times a day.
he's an amazing guy. Right?
Yeah.
He said to me that unless you have paper ballots, it can never be an honest election. That's a big statement.
Dude, by the way, mail-in votes are paper ballots.
It's a big statement.
We should go to paper ballots. You know, France did. They went to mail-in voting, and it was all messed up.
What can
you know
be
the
done?
amazing thing with the machines? So we have the machines. They cost 10 times more. Paper ballot would cost 8%. And they make paper ballots, they're all watermarked and everything else. They're very sophisticated. But if you take a look, paper ballots, 8% the cost, and you're done by 9 o'clock in the evening, right? Now we have these sophisticated machine. It goes up to heaven. It goes all over the place and down and around. And they say, we'll need 2 weeks to figure out who the hell won the election.
Do you think that's by design?
Yeah, I do. I think it's very crooked. That's my opinion.
You're allowed to have an opinion. Let's say you win in November. What can be done to mitigate these problems? What could be done?
Oh, let me find the other part here. Hold on, let me look at the transcript because we saw that part. There's more here. Right, you saw him how he's saying he has volumes, right? Let me find. Here's the Twitter part. Gotta find the fucking. Dude, oh fuck, bro. Because he questions him about why didn't you put your stuff, right? Because he was saying he has all the proof. It has to be around that realm. Let's go in there and see if we can find it, dude. I can't remember the exact wording. Maybe it was 2020. Oh, here. Oh, yeah. All right. So that was the part we just listened to. Why haven't you put the evidence in a consumable form? But I think he asked him about it again, too, dude. Okay, here it is. Let's see. Here it is. All right. Maybe this is it.
Terrible, because
And this is before I
her
got
with those charges.
Don't forget, this is before I got there.
Right.
Now, he was trying to protect her, but he did her a great disservice.
Because he wanted attention.
He was stupid.
So I want to talk about 2020 because you said over and over again that you were robbed in 2020.
Yeah, totally.
How do you think you were robbed? Everybody always cuts you off. I'm going to allow.
Do. Well, they not only cut you off. Well, what I'd rather do is we'll do it another time, and I would bring in papers that you would not believe. So many different.
I'll bring
papers.
in papers.
That election was so crooked. It was the most crooked election.
Okay, but give me some examples of how.
Well, let's start on the top and the easy ones.
Okay.
They were supposed to get legislative approval to do the things they did, and they didn't get it. In many cases, they didn't get it.
What things?
Anything.
Legislative approval.
Like for extensions of the voting, for voting earlier, for this,
Right.
for all different things. By law, they had to get legislative approvals. You don't have to go any further than that. If you take a look at Wisconsin, they virtually admitted that the election was rigged, robbed, and stolen. They wouldn't give access in certain areas to the ballots because the ballots weren't signed. They weren't originals. We could go into this stuff. We could go into the ballots, or we could go into the overall. I'll give you another one.
Are you going to present this ever? Like, do you think like?
Let me just give you one more
go ahead.
before. 51
Did you see
intelligence
that?
agents.
Are you going to
go into the
present
ballots,
this
or we
ever?
could go into the overall. I'll give you another one.
Are you going to present this ever? Like, do you think like?
Let me just give you one more
go ahead.
before. 51 intelligence agents come up that the laptop was from Russia. It turned out to be totally false.
Now he's talking about the
former
laptop.
intelligence agents, right?
They say that made, I don't believe it's this much, but it doesn't have to. I lost by I didn't lose. But
7 million
they say
votes.
I lost, Joe, they say I lost by 22,000 votes. That's
7 million.
1/10 of 1%, less than that. It's a
Is he
tiny
talking
little
about?
thing. 22,000 votes spread over that's spread over this period. So 51 intelligence agents lied. They lied. They knew it was. It was Hunter's. It was from his bed. It was Hunter's laptop. They said it was created by Russia. Russia. It was the Russia hoax. The Russia hoax was a big
Dude,
hoax.
now he's
It was all a big
fucking
hoax. So
off.
Well, that's
they
clear.
get Mueller.
That's one example, but that is a good
That's a
example.
big example. They say it made a 17-point difference. That's a big example, but that's only one. And you could go into the ballots where they wouldn't give you access to the ballots. You could go into the ballot harvesting. You could go into $500 million for the lock boxes.
But just in terms of narrative, so there's two things, right? There's the Russia hoax.
Watch
There's
this.
the collusion with Russia that was never proven, right? That's
Well,
one.
no, it's proven it didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But they talked about it on
But it took
television.
2.5 years to prove.
But not only that, but it was a constant narrative on television.
Dude, the Russia collusion was real. Okay, dude, Mueller said
That's
as
a
much.
constant narrative that gets into people's minds, especially low information people that just watch the news,
Sure.
that you're in collusion with Russia. So that's one.
Sure.
So that changes the narrative. And then you have the 51 former intelligence agents that work with the original Twitter and get them to remove links. You can't share it on DMs. You cannot share that story. They swept that story because they said it was Russian disinformation, even though they knew it was not.
100%.
So that's two examples that are real examples. Now, anyone who considers himself a legitimate, objective observer of American politics, if you really want the best person to win, you would want people to not lie. And the only reason why they got away with this lie was because they continually labeled you as this horrible threat to democracy.
Now, look at what he did there, guys. He knew by questioning Trump, he knew that Trump did not have any of this proof, was never going to show it, looking at the camera. But then Joe Rogan now has like taken all of Trump's bullshit and repackaged it in a nice little bow for his viewers, because Trump was just rambling away, just spitting lie after lie after lie. But now Joe packaged that for him in order to like, oh yes, you were robbed. Oh, they were lying. Dude, isn't that crazy? Dude, that is fucking crazy. Okay? Where are we at now? We're at 220. Okay? Let me see if there's another thing here. Yeah. Yeah, no, that may have been it. But did you see how it was like, it was how Rogan was, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, okay, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because now Joe Rogan is like starting to ride the whole wave of like, wow, this isn't border security. Like ICE is like getting too crazy. But Joe Rogan, in that interview, it was plain as day to Rogan and to everybody who watched that Trump was lying. He even admitted he lost. He said, oh yeah, I have all these papers. I have all this proof. Are you going to put it out there? Right? We know. Dude, yeah, Rogan was a collaborator. He packaged Trump's insanity, his insane ramblings, and he packaged it into a nice succinct statement of like, yeah, Trump, you were robbed, and they're liars, and like, oh my God. And now though, Rogan wants to like,
then they start showing up at Home Depot instead of like looking for gangbangers, looking for criminals and cartel members. They go to whatever's easiest pickings so they can get numbers up. There's do you know Ed Calderon? Do you know who he is? He worked, he was a Mexican military guy who now is an American citizen, but he reports extensively on the cartels, and just was telling me some horror stories about ICE raids. And one of them was they took this guy who had been brought over here when he was a baby, but didn't have American citizenship. His family, came over here illegally, lived here for 20 years. Can't speak Spanish. They deport him. Send him to Tijuana.
Can't speak Spanish.
Can't speak Spanish. Does not speak Spanish. He is essentially an American citizen. He just never lived anywhere else. He just doesn't have the paperwork. He's not a criminal. They sent him over to Tijuana.
Yeah. Dude, Trump's done that with a lot of people.
To live in Mexico. He doesn't know what the fuck to do. He's on the streets. Has no idea. He doesn't have any money.
Yeah. There you go. But look at Joe. Okay? Look at Joe though, being all like, oh, like Joe's like, wow, look at what Trump's doing. Okay? No. So Dan, the story he was talking about was that somebody, there was a guy, a Mexican person who was a baby when his parents came to America. And they brought this kid to America, and the kid never obtained citizenship. The kid speaks English, doesn't even speak Spanish. He grew up in America. He was basically an American citizen, except for the fact that he had never gone through citizenship. And Trump deported that person. So that person who doesn't even speak Spanish got sent to Mexico and like doesn't even speak the goddamn language, has no way to survive in Mexico. And Trump is deporting people like that. There are plenty of them. There are people been here 40 years. Okay. And it doesn't matter because they're getting rid of everybody. They don't fucking care. They're not getting rid of criminals. They're getting rid of everybody who they can. If you're naturalized here, they want to denaturalize you. If you came here legally, they say, well, the way you came legally ain't legal no more. You're gone. Dude, they're doing it. They're doing all of it. They're getting rid of everyone they can. But the problem I have is look at his face right now. Look at Joe's face. He's like, wow, what the fuck is going on? But like, Joe, how did you not know that this is what Trump was going to do? Trump like promised he was going to do this. He fucking promised he was going to do this. Dictator on day one, they're all vermin. They're all rapists and murderers. He was like, no mercy, right? No mercy. We're going to get them all out. He was saying 25 million people. Like, we know that 1 in 10 people in all of America are not undocumented. It was pretty damn obvious. Project 2025. And Joe knows Trump's a liar. Quizzed him about it in the presidential interview. He wouldn't make room for Kamala Harris to do an interview. He repackaged all Trump shit. He's going to get his huge tax cut. He's going to be able to buy a private jet and get a nice tax deduction for it. But it's like, dude, you son of a bitch, Joe Rogan. Now Joe Rogan's like, wow, that's really too intense, man. That's pretty intense, guys. Dude, I have a real problem with this, though. I have a real problem with people fucking boofing. You know what I mean? With people boofing this shit. And now he wants to pretend, right? I mean, dude, look at look at his face. Dude, it's like, Joe, you gave us this. And lest we forget, guys, you ready? Hold on. Let's not forget, buddies. Okay? We cannot forget. We cannot forget this, guys.
Congratulations, sir.
Look at this. Oh, yeah. Let's not forget that, guys.
Congratulations, sir.
Look at that. Dude, look at that. I will not forget this, guys, because Joe Rogan brought us this. Joe Rogan delivered this to us, and now Joe Rogan wants to be like, wow, this is pretty severe, guys. You know what I mean? Like, dude, he has a lot of orange on the chin, bro. He has a lot of fucking orange on that chin, dude. You know what I'm saying? Look at the hugs, bro. Look at that. He's like bowing before him, comes in for a double hug. Look at that, dude. They're reveling in that shit. And then they brought Andrew Tate, a rapist and human trafficker. They brought Andrew Tate there. Dude, did you see Joe, the way he did you see the little bow when he shook his hand? Watch the handshake here. Where Rogan bows. He takes Trump's hand and he does a little fucking curtsy bow, dude. Watch this shit right here. It's gnarly, boss. Dude. The fuck is that, bro? Dude, that shit is unacceptable, boss. Okay? Unacceptable. Dude, yeah, willful ignorance is a great way of putting it, man. Dude, it is just, I'm kind of seeing a lot of these guys, though. It's Rogan, it's Theo Von, okay? Theo Von is doing this shit too, and look at this guy. I think this video, I want to watch this video, and then we're going to talk about Trump's fucking medal. But this video is amazing because look at this guy, guys. This guy is not like Joe Liberal, okay? This guy that's being interviewed, this is in Minneapolis. I shared this video. This guy is from North Minneapolis. The shit is going down, and he's like, man, what the fuck is going on? He's like, I've never even been to a protest, and I am fucking livid about this shit, okay? This shit, these ICE motherfuckers, none of us is safe with these guys. None of us is safe, okay? They, like, literally, I mean, at any moment, they go from immigrants to Democrats to blue-collar people to living in a blue state. Like, they could pick any qualification. Transgender people, you got a trans family member, we're going to round you up, right? Somebody in your family's gay married, we're sending ICE in. It's like, fuck this shit. But this guy is like really, I think, showing you the effects of this stuff, because this is some horse shit, guys. Let's watch this clip. I think this clip is so valid.
This is nuts. This is fucking, yeah, and you're right in the middle of this shit. What the fuck is going on, dude? This is insane.
Have you ever gone out to these sort of things before?
Never. I've never protested in my life. My brother's here. He does it all the time. I've never. I like I said, I'm far enough away, but close enough, and I sit in my cushy house and look at shit and get mad, and they're just trying to fucking scare people, and you know, but why shoot people? You know what really pisses me off is the fact that they detain people, cuff them, and then still beat the shit out of them. They tell you it's immigrants, only immigrants. It's fucking anybody. I have friends that got detained, and all they were doing was fucking driving home from work. What the fuck?
Sounds like you don't fit the definition of the...
No, and I'm not fucking paid to be here like everybody fucking said. What the fuck is that?
Dude, this guy
I gotta work in the goddamn morning, just like everybody else. I'm just here trying to stand up for community, dude. We're all human beings here. I don't give a shit who you are, where you came from, what color you are. It doesn't fucking matter. This is wrong.
Dude,
this is...
You know what I'm saying? And again, this guy is not a blue-haired liberal, okay? Now, I do want to address something somebody said in chat about Rogan. And the thing is Harris's camp tried to make some concessions with Rogan to accommodate her, but Rogan would not accommodate her, okay? Rogan gave her a, sort of an ultimatum, okay? And now Kamala Harris had 107 days to campaign. And I think, if Rogan really had wanted to get Kamala Harris on there, he could have made some sort of concession. I think the fact that she only had 107 days to campaign, which meant if they had to fudge the schedule a little bit or move it or meet her somewhere, I think he should have accommodated that. The fact that they were on an even level and Trump had been campaigning for 2 years. And then in the end, when they tried to move shit and find a neutral location, he just refused. So then he could make it look like she wouldn't do it. I thought that was a shitty move because she was not campaigning under regular circumstances. She was fucked. Okay. She really was, man. She was so uphill and he wanted her to I think she wanted to do an hour and a half instead of 3 hours. And they wanted to do a neutral location. And I think he should have accommodated that. I think she deserved that, for the situation she was put in. Because, dude, she was can you imagine having to mount a presidential campaign in 107 days with slogans and with an entire thing and all while you're also trying to not bury your boss? I mean, that whole situation was pretty fucked up. And she did an amazing job. But I thought Rogan should have accommodated that because I think if the situation were reversed and if Donald Trump had had some situation where he couldn't get to Austin for 3 hours and he wanted to do an hour and a half somewhere, I think that Rogan would have done it for Trump. That was my problem. I think if Trump had to make a concession and Trump needed Rogan to make a concession, Rogan would have made the concession for Trump, but he wouldn't do it for Kamala Harris. And that I had sort of a problem with, right? Because I don't think Rogan was being genuine during that thing. You know, Trump lost, stop the bullshit. I mean, he may very well have. I have not seen any solid proof that Trump lost. I mean, I've seen a lot of dirty play. Okay, there were a lot of dirty ad campaigns by Elon Musk. And there was a lot of ballot harvesting with Elon Musk doing those $1 million a day giveaways to lure people into signing the petition. And then they were out ballot harvesting a bunch of redneck voters that never voted before. You know, But can I have Nathan Taylor of Election Truth Alliance? I mean, if you put him in touch with me, I'll consider talking to him, right? Or put links in your shit. I mean, I've seen some of the videos where they talk about it. I just haven't seen the fucking the proof, right? I've seen like weird inconsistencies with people only voting like top line and not voting for shit under the line and shit like that. But I also know that they did a serious ballot harvesting fucking campaign. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I mean, if he wants to reach out to me, I'm willing to talk to him and see what he's talking about. I just, at this point, guys, here's the problem is the problem is without like hard proof that you can deliver before a court of law, like all of that is just becomes a black hole, right? Because the thing is if they have hard proof, they should literally just go and file a court case and do it in the courts. But if you don't have proof in the courts, then everything is just going to undermine our belief in elections. And that's going to like cause a whole bunch of shit. And I haven't seen any of the hard proof. But what I did see though, guys, which is not illegal, okay? What I did see that is not illegal is they got a whole bunch of people who don't vote to sign a petition. And then they sent out like TPUSA guys to ballot harvest those guys to vote for the president. And that is like not illegal. Like both sides do that. You know, now I've also heard some people talking about maybe, you know, some votes were changed. I mean, I don't know, man. And I mean, if you guys put some links to their lawsuits and shit and let me know how this shit is doing, put some links in chat. I mean, I've seen some content creators, like I saw David Pakman's video about this, and I know some content creators have done videos on this because it gets a lot of views because people want to believe it was stolen, that kind of like, oh, they stole it. That feeds a lot of shit. But I don't want to undermine the integrity of our elections unless we have solid proof, because if you do that undermining, you risk making people apathetic and people feeling like, oh, it's rigged anyway. There's no reason to show up. And we really need to show up. And so I am a little leery of these undermining things because that's what Trump did. That's what the Bernie bros did. Oh, Hillary cheated. I mean, this shit started, you know, every swing state. But see, 𝗙cie𝗶𝗶, can I just tell you, like with I grew up in the Midwest, okay? And let me just tell you guys, I grew up in the Midwest and I was pretty convinced that Midwest independent voters would never vote for Kamala Harris, okay? Because she's a black woman, okay? I would be fucking surprised if a black woman won those swing state votes. I mean, there was a time when they voted for Barack Obama, but the racism that has gotten kicked up since Barack Obama, I don't even know if a black man could win swing states for a presidential vote in America anymore, because it has been polluted and corrupted with the craziest fucking racism. And like, you know, I mean, I was really nervous about that as much as I believed in Kamala in the cities, you know, but like I was not surprised that he eked out all the fucking swing states because I've been to those states. I know what most of the people are, those white independent rural voters or whatever. Even if they hate Trump, he's not a black woman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a tough sell there. Okay. The Midwest is, I can't even describe how white Christian the Midwest is. Even the ones who vote Democrat sometimes are a white Christian rural people that I didn't envision them voting for a black woman. And so I was nervous from the fucking start, man. You know what I mean? I was nervous because I grew up there and I was like, God, I just, like nobody in my family, not one voter in my family in Wisconsin was voting for Kamala Harris. Not one. Even the ones that voted for Obama and even the ones that were thinking about voting for Hillary Clinton, not one of them would fucking vote for Kamala Harris, right? They just wouldn't. you know? And now I'm not saying like that doesn't mean that Trump didn't cheat. But again, I have not seen, I saw a lot of voter suppression and I saw a lot of voter shit, but I mean, if they have the proof, how are the court cases going? Have they won in court? Like what's going on with their court cases? Election Truth Alliance, start there. Yeah, but so 𝗙ecie, my thing is this though, is like, and hear me out on this, guys. I'm not going to spend the next 2 years researching whether Trump cheated because like we have to assume they're going to try to cheat again. We just have to turn out in uncheatable numbers, right? But you know what I mean? Like we have an election this year. I don't want to relitigate 2024. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he says that you're saying he stole 2024. They're saying we stole 2020, but that doesn't change that we have an election in fucking, you know what I'm saying? We have an election in 10 months. And so unless your court case like fucking proves this and you go arrest these guys, like this is all just a waste of fucking time because we have another election coming where if we have to turn out, you know, 20 million new voters, then that's what we got to do if they're cheating. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like for me, I don't know what I can do. I could watch all the Truth Alliance videos there are. That's not going to change the fact that we have a goddamn election in 10 months. And like whether they're cheating or not cheating, we have to show up and try to beat them, you know? You know what I'm saying? You think they fucked us? I mean, I look at the voter suppression and I look at, you know, the ballot harvesting, Elon giving away $1 million a day. And like, there were a lot of things that I consider like nefarious, but I don't know what we do about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what we do about that other than show up in like, you know, 5-1 numbers, right? Like we have to show up where we win by 20 million votes and they can't do that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that like gets to me where I'm like, well, you know, if they have the court cases, then we wait for the court cases to come through. But, you know, there were areas where Trump won and everybody else won down ballot. You know, I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't know what to do about that shit, right? I know people want to like lay into that, but I'm not sure that's the best use of our time, right? You know what I mean? I mean, if you can prove it, you bring them to justice, then you do it. But I think voting on that national electoral compact that we talked about, the national vote compact, where we just get rid of the electoral college, right? I think this is a better use of your time. Instead of watching the Truth Alliance videos, you ready, guys? Here, get this started in your state, guys. Okay, the Interstate Voters Compact. You know, let's talk about sponsoring protesters. Dude. But I mean, if they have court cases, though, I hope they win them. I do, man. But I haven't seen too much about it. Imagine believing in the system still. So, I mean, you know what's funny, though? Here's the thing, Elian. Let me share you my thoughts. When you say, imagine believing in the system still. So, I get where you're saying with that, because you're like saying, oh, by not believing in the system, you're like in some hyper set of like awakeness and awareness. But here's the deal. It's not about believing in the system. It's about the fact that like we exist in a system, and whether you believe in the system or not believe in the system, the only way you're going to acquire power is through that system in some way, shape, or form. So you don't have to believe in a system in order to take advantage of the system and still get power. But to think that you can deny the existence of the system and be like, fuck the system, I'm going to exist outside of it. You can do that, but then you're never going to have any power. So you don't have to believe in the system, but you do have to understand the system exists, and you have to figure out a way to work the system, or you're never going to get power. So I think the idea of like thinking I believe or don't believe, the fact of the matter is people cheat all over. And there's fraud and there's subterfuge and there's a bunch of bullshit about our system. There's too much money and everything is corrupt. But you still have to get into that corrupt, moneyed, bullshit, cheating system. And you have to try and fucking win anyway, because otherwise you can stand out there and say the system is fucked, everything's fucked, but you're going to just get shit on if you do it that way. You're going to become like fish food for all of the sharks. And so my thing is it's not that, oh, I believe in the American electoral system, but I'm not going to be eaten by a fucking shark, okay? I'm going to get in there and try to do shit that keeps us passionate and fighting and in the game, so we still have a chance at winning instead of having a bunch of apathetic people that are so down on everything that they don't do anything. They just freeze while a shark comes up and fucking eats all of us. Right? Because I think being like paralyzed because the system is unfair and bullshit is not going to help anybody. That's my personal belief. Like I show up and I fucking get in there and get my hands on the levers and play whatever game I have to play in order to try and beat the bad guys. And I'm not going to just sit there and say like this whole system is fucked, so therefore I'm going to let the bad guys fucking like shit all over me. I don't work that way. Because without a little bit of power, you're going to just be a victim. And I'm not a fucking victim. I'm a fucking survivor. Okay? I'm a fighter. And that's kind of my thing. I have no like glorious idea about like our system being fair or legitimate or even appropriate, right? Or certainly like good. I wouldn't say the American political system is good. I think the American political system is about as shitty as it gets. But I'll be damned if I'm not going to get in there and try to work it and manipulate it in order to create a good outcome, you know? And I mean, I feel like it's my duty as a citizen to not prevent the bad actors from like chewing me up, even if I have to partner with some centrists I don't like, or some far leftists I don't like, or, you know, even if sometimes, you know, we have to like, you know, stretch the boundaries inside the rules, right? You know what I mean? Like the speed limit says 55, but you drive 58. You're still like going over the speed limit, but you're not really, right? I mean, there's all kinds of flex around the like, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to like ballot harvesting and, you know, I don't know, everybody uses their fucking PR campaigns. Like we're all in there doing it. I think like we still have to find a way to win inside this system. Cause I mean, what's our option? We're going to show up with rifles and fucking, you know, try some armed revolt. We're going to take Gavin Newsom hostage or something, demand the Democrats make Bernie president, or like, you know what I mean? Like, what are our options here? If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Oh my God, boxing. What a great statement. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. I mean, how true is that? You know, and guys, I only say this because I guess I've always been a political power, you know, a political power sort of like, you know, I guess player. Okay. Like I've never had a problem playing the politics. I've said this before. I'm a leftist and I am a rebel. I am somebody who likes to stretch the boundary of the systems. However, what I have always done is I have always gotten myself into the power structure to be able to do that without like becoming a victim of the power system itself. And I've done it at workplaces, right? Like if I go and get a job, I like to be on my phone. I like to fucking be able to like not have to look busy. So when I would go get a job, I would identify who had power in my workplace and I would make sure that they were on my team so I could be the worker that could be on his phone and wouldn't take shit from the manager. Okay? That's politics. Okay? And that meant sometimes I was aligned with people I didn't like. I didn't like my manager, but my manager was going to let me do whatever the fuck I wanted in that workplace. That is like being political. And I think that like we leftists, sometimes we forget about that. We're like, fuck those guys. But then we're the ones getting harassed by the manager. And so I think it's better to play the political games and have your integrity be about getting the win and not about like, you know, if you had to partner up with some people you didn't like along the way to get that win, you know? And you know, of course there are, you know, you do have to have some boundary, right? Like I'm not going to partner with Donald Trump to get the win, you know, but look at Zoran Mamdani. I mean, he did go meet with Trump and he didn't go get in Trump's face and fucking scream you're a fascist in front of the reporters and embarrass Trump, right? He got Trump to like him, and then he looked good because Trump was fawning over him on camera. And that is a fucking power political move, okay? I operate like that, or I try to, you know, I try to operate like Zoran Mamdani does, which is like, because Zoran wants to get his shit done in New York City. So look who he's aligned with. He aligned with Hochul. He got the endorsement from Hakeem Jeffries and is protecting his speakership. He's aligned with Bernie and AOC, so he's good with like the DSA set. And then he goes and gets Trump to like sort of like, you know, like fawn on him. And now Zoran is like gonna get his shit done, okay? And I don't think Trump's even gonna send ICE into New York and create a scene, right? Because of the Zoran like doing the political shit. You know, Zoran's a Libra. I'm a Libra. That's funny. I'm a Libra too. I'm on the Libra on the cusp of Scorpio. And so my thing is I think it's like, I think if leftism, like far leftism in America wants to really take some power, I think we have to follow the example of Zoran Mamdani and AOC and not necessarily follow the example of, you know, Hasanabi and Cenk Uygur. Okay, you know what I mean? And I don't mean that as a diss on Hassan, because I love Hassan. But the thing about Hassan that's troubling to me is Hassan is empowered and living in a world of power. But a lot of Hassan's audience is not living in the same power that Hassan is. And they're not going to reap the benefits of their rebellion, right? The same way that Hassan can rebel, because he's going to reap the benefits even if the rebellion falls short. And so when you're rebelling, you got to be careful. If you're rebelling for a crowd, you want your rebellion to be something that's not going to fuck over the crowd, you know. But it's crazy though, because like we can monetize anger. So I could just get you guys juiced up and play off your angers and fears all day long. And then I could probably build that to like millions of dollars. And then like all I'd be doing is just profiting off you guys being angry and scared the whole time. And so I prefer to like, I want us to be empowered, right? You know what I mean? Like I want Hassan to have his leftist socialist ideals, but I also want him to help his community get them, and not just help his community be angry at the system all the time because they're never getting them. That will only give Hassan money, but it's not going to do a lot for his community long term. They're going to be angry and resentful, and a lot of them will probably eventually red pill, because let me just tell you, if you are a leftist and you just get angry and resentful and you do that and you're mad at the Dems and you're mad at the Republicans, eventually the red pill will get its hooks in your resentment and you will buy in and you will fucking switch teams, guys. Like the leftist rebellion to red pill, that's a dangerous pipeline. That can happen, okay? It can happen. I watched it happen in the gamer world just during the pandemic, okay? Like leftism that doesn't get what it wants to right wing is a dangerous pipeline. You know what I mean? Dude, do we have somebody being a fucking clown in here? You know, or are we just good? You guys good? You guys good? So again, the person saying, like this person you want to argue, you say believe in a rigged system. Okay, guys, that's just the thing, dude. This is capitalism. Okay, all of the systems are rigged, bro. Like you say, believe in a rigged system. It's not about believing it. You exist in a rigged system. Either learn how to operate in a rigged system or get eaten, you dumb fucks. You know what I'm saying? It's not about belief. It doesn't matter what you fucking believe in. Everything in capitalism is rigged. You either learn how to win inside the rigging, you know what I'm saying? You either learn how to win inside the rigging or you get eaten. Like acting like there's any system around capitalism that's not rigged is just stupid. That's like you're being stupid if you think, oh, you're waiting for you want to be part of the non-rigged system. It doesn't exist, bro. That's what I'm telling you. The whole capitalism, whether it's the electorate, the financial system, the judicial system, it's all rigged. That doesn't change that you don't have to fucking win and take power and try to like unrig. You know what I'm saying? But you can't unrig it by being the person with no power. Okay? You know what I mean? That's my point. My point is it's all rigged, boss. And it's not that I believe in it, but am I going to like let the rigged system make me lose everything? No, I'm not. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to find a way to like beat the rigged system. Right? End times capitalism? Yeah. I mean, dude, there's no way, dude, that like we're definitely running out of steam. But dude, I'm going to go make some videos. All right? Let's go. You're right. It is late stage capitalism. Right? Let's go, baby. But dude, and again, dude, I like Hassan. I do. I like Hassan. I think he has a very important function, but I hope he uses it responsibly over the next 3 years because he has a lot of people that believe in him and he has a lot of people that believe they can have the revolution he describes. But the problem is this, guys. You ready? Here's the problem. The problem is I believe in Hassan's ability to like fucking create an audience. And I believe in Hassan's ability on his mission of socialism. What I don't think is I don't think Hassan knows how to actually get the people to get socialism. Okay? That's what I don't think. I don't think he actually knows how to bring it about. And that's dangerous. When you're preaching a rebellion that you yourself don't know how to accomplish, you're putting people at risk. Right? Like if you speak about the revolution, you got to either know how to accomplish it or otherwise you're just playing off people's fucking shit. And the problem with the far left progressives is they never win elections. And that's really, they have to start winning elections, you know? And so I really thought the best thing Hassan could do would be to run as a socialist and get into Congress. You know what I mean? And then he would be able to really make a play, right? If he won as a socialist, like run as a full-on socialist and get in there. You know what I mean? That to me, like, I feel like he's got to figure out some way of like showing his audience how they can deliver the revolution. You know what I'm saying? And there's not an insignificant chance Zoran wouldn't have been elected without Hassan. I mean, maybe Ivan. I mean, Zoran had support, though, of like the Vanguard and shit before Hassan even knew who he was. Okay. And that's not a put down of Hassan, but the Vanguard were interviewing Zoran Mamdani way back during the pandemic. So he was known to leftism. I like Hassan didn't discover Zoran. Did Hassan help? Sure, but so did Bernie, so did AOC, and I don't think Hassan had a huge sway. I think the thing that helped Zoran win was Trump winning more than anything, okay? Trump winning, but I mean, dude, Zoran had Bernie, and Bernie is like, you know, Hassan doesn't have as big of an impact as Bernie does, you know? So I don't think Zoran was on the Hassan bandwagon as much as Hassan was on the Zoran bandwagon. But yeah, dude, base notes, I would love to watch Kyle smack up Michael Knowles. Put that in there. But I think Trump, like Zoran was very local and far lefties have been covering him for years, but I think Trump got Zoran elected. Okay? I've said this before. If Kamala Harris wins that election, Zoran Mamdani would not have won in New York City. I'm telling you, boss. I'm telling you right now, if Kamala Harris had won, there would be no Zoran Mamdani. I don't think he would have won. I don't think people would have felt as threatened. I don't think people would have felt like they had to make a drastic move. I think they would have gotten comfortable. And I bet Zoran would not have fucking won in New York City. That's why, guys, I think sometimes us getting uncomfortable and going through the muck, if we can come together and survive it, it can be a good thing. Okay? But I'm going to go make some videos. Let's get that dance party. I love you guys. I know I'm not as radical of a revolutionary as some people are, but I'm telling you guys, I think I'm more of a radical revolutionary because I think you can get in and you can dismantle things from the inside, okay? And maybe I'm going to have to prove that. I'm going to have to put my money where my mouth is and run for office at some point too, okay? But I think like if you want to take down a building, it's a lot easier to do it from inside than it is from outside, okay? If you want to like explode a building, you need to get inside. You need to get inside. You need to get yourself around the inner foundations. And that's how you fucking destroy shit. Okay? I believe that, guys. I do. You got to make sure you don't get corrupted when you get in there, though. That's the danger. Because anybody can get in there and you get corrupted. Dude, love you too. Let's go, dude. Anybody can get corrupted. But so anyway, so Jenny and I are watching we're watching the Epstein documentary right now. We're watching Filthy Rich. And that's our massage. Like we do our massage trade every night where we watch a little TV of some sort, normally a TV show, but now we're watching Filthy Rich on Netflix, the Epstein documentary. It's crazy. I thought I had seen it before, but it's not the one I had seen. So I'm getting I guess you could say I'm getting re-energized for the Epstein battle. Yeah, the massage trade, it's an integral part about our relationship. Like a lot of times we don't spend a lot of time together, like, doing things, but we spend, about 40 minutes every night, like trading physical contact, physical rubs to like help our bodies feel better and have intimate contact. It's pretty cool, actually. We've been doing it every day just about for like years, guys. Like you and your partner showing daily physical intimacy with each other that's not like sexual is pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool, guys. It's pretty neat. I highly recommend it. Oh, shit. All right, you ready? You and your partner do the same? Let's go. Yeah, no, it's so good. Shiloh, it's good to see you. Right? Let's go. It's good to see all you guys. Appreciate you guys. We got to get everybody on the team, boss. Like, I mean, we got to get everybody on the team. That's what I hope. I hope we can get, I really want these guys. Mike from PA, Hasanabi. I want everybody on the team, dude. The Pod Save America boys, right? The fucking Zoran, Hakeem, AOC. Like, we need the whole squad. And we may not like each other. We may not fucking agree with each other. But we need to fucking, like, get our shit together. Or we're going to end up with ICE Bibles getting shoved up our ass at fucking at the local fucking grocery store. You know what I'm saying? And that, I ain't fucking going there, bro. I'm not doing 8 more years of this ICE shit, bro. We're gonna barely fucking survive to 2028. I'm not doing 4 or 8 years of some fucking Palantir tech bro fucking weirdo, Orthodox Catholic shitter. You know what I'm saying? Like JD Vance, like, no way, bro. No way, man. You know what I'm saying? No fucking way, dude. And 2028 is where I get off, right? Hakeem needs to go. Hakeem's not going for a while. I know you say he needs to go, but I don't think Hakeem's going for a while. I think he's made some power alliances with the left. And I'll be honest, he's pretty good at managing a very disparate coalition, so I don't hate it. I don't hate him. He does his job well with the power in the House, even though I don't like him personally and I fucking hate his hand motions. But he's effective as a House manager as far as getting people on board with the votes, even if the people hate each other, and protecting people's districts. He's good at that. He's good at like schmoozing with everyone. I think the Speaker of the House, you just don't want somebody like Mike Johnson who can't manage the caucus, and you have your own people rebelling against you. And 𝗙𝗪𝗏𝗄𝗎 is not that guy. And I think that's important. Even if you don't like the person, even if you hate their politics, what's important is they can do the job, which is to protect everybody's district. Okay? And I fucking do not like 𝗙𝗪𝗏𝗄𝗎 at all. I like watching him, I cringe, but he is effective at the job, right? You know, dude, he is. He is. I hate to admit it, but he's smarmy enough to do that job pretty well. Dude, you kind of got to be smarmy. You know what I'm saying? He looks like a guy beat up. Dude, his haircut is like, bro, his haircut is so off, dude. Hakeem's haircut, like, man, dude, somebody get that guy a hairstylist. Dude, let's go. But he is very effective at that shitty job. Okay, he is. Because remember, guys, and let me just tell you, I want to be very clear with this. Hear me when I say this. The Speaker of the House does not need to be your party's thought leader. Okay? Not at all. In fact, I think the Speaker of the House being somebody in the middle is better, because then your thought leaders can go way out on the right and they don't like anger the whole coalition. Okay, like you don't want AOC to be Speaker of the House, because AOC, like, that could compromise her ability to like push the caucus to the left, right? And we forget that. We think the Speaker of the House needs to be the most vocal, like moving the party person, and like not necessarily. Like sometimes you want those people that are pulling the party to a different place to have free reign to just go out to the fringes and be outrageous, and they don't have to worry about pissing anyone off in the coalition. The Speaker of the House's job is when AOC is out there like pulling us to the left. The Speaker's job is to make sure the center-right Democrats don't want to like bounce out because of what AOC's saying. You know what I'm saying? The Speakers, they have a different job. Okay, their job is to make sure that AOC can be AOC, and Marie 𝗪𝗓𝗪𝗏 up in Washington can be Marie 𝗪𝗓𝗪𝗏, and then they all keep winning their districts, you know? And so the Speaker's job is to make sure the coalition doesn't fuck everybody over, right? And you look at like Mike Johnson, dude, that guy, he's like, I have not lost control of the House. Dude, he's lost control of the House, dude. His own coalition is eating him, you know? All right, you ready? Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's dance. Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh.
But I've known, been here before. feeling that I have now, almost a bit holy, notion that I will make it out somehow. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it light. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it light. Things will turn out alright this time, I know.
Thank you. Thank you. Fuck you, Trumpy. Oh. I'm in love. I'm in love with everything. I'm in love. I'm in love. Everything but me. Yeah. But me. Yeah. Yeah, that is a workout, guys. Yeah, I love you. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna go edit some videos. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Paint away, day and night, 6 hearts, hope I'm okay. You're alright, goodbye, then if you dare. Someone new is pulling everywhere. I'm afraid to let them. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in panic. Yeah. After you, I'm afraid of feeling some too soon. Cling to what you're giving. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Yeah. Paint away, day and night, 6 hearts, hope I'm okay. You're alright, goodbye, then if you dare. Someone new is pulling everywhere. I'm afraid to let them. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Yeah. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Nothing is what I say. I obsessions, always jumping through. I'm so tangled, I'm so worthy. I'm just lost in my reflection. Pay attention. You never will. I will overanalyze and fall victim. But when I'm lowest, time to get to know myself. I'm still tangled, I'm not worried, 'cause I am caught up in